see. What's good, y'all? It's your boy Mookie Jones for another episode of NFL TakeOver. My moderator Maria couldn't make it tonight, bro, but it's your boy, the host, the creator of all of NFL TakeOver, Mookie Jones, here to keep the energy alive. We got some really good topics, from historical quarterback debates, from historical wide receiver debates, for, trade request from a star player for preseason week 2. We got it all covered today. So make sure y'all hit the like button. We're about to get it kicked off. Salute to the panelists there. We got Cruiser, Joanna, Byron, and Jordan, and we got some couple guys that are coming in today, right? So about the theme of the topic, about the theme of the show is we got to talk about the eras. We got to talk about the eras of football, right? And when we look at the quarterback, right? Quarterback play defines every era, factoring rule changes, playoff success, longevity. Which group of the quarterbacks do y'all trust to lead your franchise in the near future? So we got the legends from 1980 to 1990s when we talk about Joe Montana, Dan Marino, John Elway, and we got Steve Young. And then we got the legends, right? From, we got the transition era. So when we transition from the legends to the transition, we got Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, 5 quarterbacks that were the best in their era. And then we talk about the new wave quarterback, the Joe Burrows, the Patrick Mahomes, the Lamar Jacksons, the Josh Allens of the world, man. So when you look at these quarterbacks, Cruiser, what quarterbacks that you look at and sit here and say, these quarterbacks showed the greatness, they were the pioneers of the sport, but I trust these new era quarterbacks to lead my franchise in the near future? What do you think?
So we're starting with the new era guys first?
It's up to you. It's up to you, my brother. Who do you trust, like, leading the new franchise in the near future when you talk about the back to days?
I'm just trying to make sure I'm right. So when you say the near future, like, so I can go back and pick any of the old guys too?
Yes.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Okay. All right then. Okay. All right. I'm gonna roll with my guy Peyton Manning, man. I'm gonna roll with Peyton Manning. If I want my offense to be ran tight, if I want my receivers to be in place, if I want to be able to have a guy there on the field that I don't have to manage, and a guy that I can trust to be the extension of me as a head coach, I want Peyton Manning running my offense. He can call plays from the sideline. He can call plays from the game. He's going to be on time. He's going to be in the film room, outside of the film room. Whatever you need your quarterback to be, Peyton Manning is that. He can throw the deep ball. He can throw the short intermediate. He can anticipate throws. He's going to have guys prepared, and he's going to be well prepared. So for me as a quarterback, that's the guy I want running my franchise, Peyton Manning.
So you're taking the transition era from the 2010s where you look at Brady, Manning, Drew Brees, and Aaron Rodgers. You taking that era?
Yeah, and to be honest, that era right there, it was tough for me. To be honest, when I was looking at it, when you gave me the strip, I was looking at it. It was tough for me because the older guys too, man, the Joe Montanas, the Steve Youngs, and stuff like that, man. Those were great quarterbacks at the time, but I just can't overlook the numbers these new and when I say I can't overlook the numbers these guys put up, man, with Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. I know they play in a different era, but Peyton Manning and Tom Brady came in 2000. Peyton Manning came in, I think, 99. So they kind of came in at the tail end. They came at the end of the 90s, but they still had that same physicality going into the early 2000s, I'd say all the way up to 2009, 2010, where you could be physical with the receivers, you could check receive that line of scrimmage. So they still had a lot of that going on. So I still consider them part of the 90s, if you get what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? But those older guys, man, I can't take anything away from them because they started this quarterback situation when you had to really make checks at the line of scrimmage. Dan Marino don't get enough credit. I know he didn't win a lot of Super Bowls, and I know that first Super Bowl he played in, he was young at the time, but he didn't play good. They got his drums beat to death. I think he threw 2 picks in that Super Bowl. So he didn't play good. But when it came for the first person to be able to throw the ball that many times in the game, Dan Marino was the first guy to be able to do that. And I think Peyton Manning came after Dan Marino. People don't give Dan Marino enough credit. But Dan Marino was one of the first quarterbacks to be making checks at the line of scrimmage and calling all the plays. Dan Marino had no running game. He was out there throwing that ball around all around the field. He had a strong arm with 2 bad knees, 2 bulge knee braces on, and that boy could spin that rock. And if you needed that ball,
do you have Cruiser? Do you have Dan Marino in your top 5?
Yeah, Dan Marino top 5 quarterback to me of all time.
What do you have him ranked?
Fuck no.
Well, to me, I'm gonna go. I think I got Dan Marino at 4.
Okay. So who the 4 that you got over him?
I got Tom Brady, Peyton, and I no particular order. I got Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Aaron Rodgers.
Can I ask who you have at 5?
Go ahead, I can hear you.
Who do you have at 5?
I got Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Dan Marino, and I got what's his name, man? Joe Montana.
Okay. Are these like peaks or?
Hold on. Let me cut Cruz off. How you ain't got the guy that you sat there and credit? You credit this guy for playing in the era with Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, and all these other guys, right? And you ain't got him in your top 5 and Drew Brees when you look at the production and the things that you value.
Oh, listen, it's tough. You know what I mean? It's tough. All the quarterbacks so good. You know what I mean? I like Drew Brees. You know what I mean? You can't take nothing away from Drew Brees. I think a lot of people coming out of Purdue, a lot of people didn't see Drew, especially when his first stint in the Chargers, and when that shoulder injury really messed him up and stuff like that, and the way when he went to the Saints and how he revived his career and stuff like that. So you know what I mean? It's nothing against Drew Brees, but those guys ahead of them, man, I can't. Drew Brees one of the best.
Why you got Joe Montana over Drew Brees?
Man, Joe Montana, man, is just his precision, his accuracy with the football.
You think he's more accurate than Drew Brees?
You said what?
You think he's more accurate than Drew Brees?
Yeah, man. Joe Montana.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you, bro. Joe Montana.
You cannot look at the tape and say,
"Oh hell no! Hell no! Hell no! Joe Montana is not even the top 3 most accurate quarterback in of all time.
You said what now, Mook?
Joe Montana not even the top 3 most accurate quarterback all time.
Mookie, Joe Montana used to spin that rock, baby. I'm telling you, bro. Listen, bro. When I'm looking at a quarterback, bro, I'm looking at a quarterback. When a quarterback drop back, I'm looking at their feet work. How their feet work is, what their placement of the ball is. Can they throw the deep out route? Can they throw the timing post? Can they throw the deep dig route 16, 17 yards deep? I'm looking at all those things. Can you go window shopping for me? If a quarterback can't go window shopping for me, and when I say window shopping, can you throw that thing in between tight windows where you throw
that literally was Drew Brees. That literally was Drew Brees. That literally was Drew Brees.
Drew Brees is a window shopper. You feel me? You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is Joe Montana.
When we talk about hitting whole shots, when we talk about leading the wide receivers, when we talk about anticipation throwing into tight windows, I don't know why you can sit there and watch on film that Joe Montana do that better than Drew Brees. That's what I'm saying.
This is what I'm saying. See when we get here, Mookie, this is what we get though. Because now I don't want to discredit what Drew Brees done to up Joe Montana. It's only so many people to be in the top 5. You feel me?
But Jordan, do you think
Brees is the top 10 quarterback? All right, put out this.
Jordan, hold on, Cruz. Let me get to Jordan. Jordan, do you think a guy like Joe Montana is starting to get more overrated? Because first of all, foremost, do you think which quarterback era do you think is the best, and what quarterback era would you choose to lead these franchises in the near future?
I mean, if I had to pick an era, I would go with the 2000s, 2010s. I mean, it's kind of easy. I mean, out of my top 7 quarterbacks, 5 of them just come from that era alone. You know, I got Aaron Rodgers as the GOAT. You got Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, all the top quarterbacks. And the thing is that's different about the 2010s and 2000s. Most of the other quarterback eras, it's very top heavy, like with the 80s and 90s. Like if you go to the top talent, Joe Montana, Dan Marino, all them guys, once you start to get to those middle tier quarterbacks, I mean, it gets real shaky. Like let's go to a random one, like one of the better quarterbacks, Randle Cunningham. Is Randle Cunningham even a top 10 quarterback in the league today? Fuck no. So I'm saying it's very top heavy. But if you go to 2000, it's just very like.
You mean hold on? In this era?
Yeah, he's not top 10, my brother.
Randle Cunningham?
Fuck no.
That man clear Jalen Hurts and these guys.
No.
You talking about in the quarterback?
No.
Can't read defenses.
No. Wait, are you
Jalen Hurts
wait?
not even top 10, Cruiser. Jalen Hurts not even top 10. Jalen Hurts not even top 10.
That's no what I'm saying. He said,
wait. Where would you have Randall?
How Randall Cunningham came?
No, he's a better passer. He clears as a passer.
Jalen Hurts clears Randall Cunningham?
Yes.
Man, listen, bro.
Yes.
Listen. Bro, we got to take you get a DNA test, bro. What year you was born?
Bro, Randall Cunningham, bro, the accuracies
the
accuracies is not there. Like, you know.
Oh my god.
No. Bro, wait. Do you real quick.
Randall Cunningham clears, bro.
Are you doing relative to era?
Randall Cunningham can play in this era. Do you remember Randall Cunningham?
No. I'm saying when you like look at, no, I'm saying when you go era to era from quarterback, are you going relative to era, like how good they were in their era, or just like in general? Like,
yeah, you gotta give some of that. You gotta give some of that era because the era is different. You know what I mean? I don't want to really merge them two eras different because.
Hey, Cruiser, who's more accurate, Jalen Hurts or Randall Cunningham?
Randall Cunningham. Randall Cunningham's a prolific.
What?
No.
What the?
No.
What pass, bro? What pass have y'all seen Jalen Hurts throw? The deep ball and the slant.
Wait, Cruiser. Wait, where would Randall Cunningham rank in today's game?
Randall Cunningham would rank in today's game with the quarterback. So, all right, before we get here, so I'm assuming y'all got Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow.
Yeah, they clear that.
Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Matthew Stafford,
Justin Herbert.
Some people might still have Aaron Rodgers' old ass in there. Bro, if Jalen Hurts and CJ Stroud, if those guys are on your list, there's no way you can tell me if you go back and look at Randall Cunningham just in 99. 99, Randall Cunningham was balling. 97.
Hold on, Cruiser. 99. Randall Cunningham better than CJ Stroud. What are you talking about, Cruiser?
97, Randall Cunningham better than all them boys, bro. Right now.
No, he's not, bro.
No, he's not.
Look at that season,
Cruiser. You said 97 Randall Cunningham. He played 3 games and completed 50% of his passes. You said that's better than CJ Stroud when you're going against defenses that is way more complex, defense that is way more athletic. What are you talking about?
The game's way faster, bro. Like, come on.
Defenses, tell me.
Huh?
What's more complex about these defenses?
The Tampa 2s, they more and more corners coverage.
The 90s, you know what
they got weight. They got.
Tampa 2. That was back in the 90s. The Tampa Bay.
Hold on. But I'm saying that the way that the defenders are, the way that the teams have it, where they utilizing more nickel. Like, you gotta understand that nickel wasn't getting utilized back in the days. The nickels today is getting more utilized. So that means teams can just literally run you around. They got niggas that's cripping up the line of scrimmage. You can play them in a DP set in situations, shit like that. So the nickel is getting more utilized in the game today. So now players got to make more pre-snap reads. Now players got to be more decisive and be able to make checks in the line of scrimmage. Now you got to understand is that players now are even more athletic. So the players today are just even more athletic today. That's what I'm saying.
I will give you the quarterback position. The quarterback position today is more athletic. But when you just said Mookie, when you just said making checks, when the last time you seen Lamar Jackson come up to the line and make a check? He got his mouthpiece in his mouth. He come up there and roll that back towel on his backhand every time and don't make no checks. I ain't seen a quarterback I ain't seen none of them quarterbacks from Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, none of these guys, they come up there and run the play, coach short. They come up there and run the play. I ain't never seen them point out a mic. Am I lying?
You've never seen Lamar Jackson point out the mic linebacker?
He come up there and do like this, put his hand behind his back and rub his hand on that white towel.
No,
that's cat, bro.
You're being disingenuous now.
I feel like you're not giving enough credit to the young generation. So I mean, the 2010s, I think the 2010s have the best era too. But would you say that the 2020s era, like right now, is better than the 90s era, or are you taking the 90s? When you look at guys like Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes, are you taking them over guys like Joe Montana, Brett Favre?
If you want to talk about in the 2020s right now, where we at, because both of us on the same page, bro. We're gonna take the 2010s, but that's our quarterback. But what I'm saying is, Joe Burrow in this era, Joe Burrow to me is a throwback. Joe Burrow is in that Tom Brady, Peyton Manning category to me, as far as mindset, as far as football. He kind of blended in. These other guys, Lamar Jackson, not CJ Stroud, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, those guys right there, they more of the more Michael Vick. They like two-time Michael Vick. Like they the Michael Vick of this era type guys. Michael Vick had a better arm than what people think he had. Michael Vick had that flick of the wrist. So I don't think I don't think for us passing the football wise, I don't think those guys are on those other guys left. That's what
Cruiser,
what about a guy like Patrick Mahomes though?
Who's
had historical passing seasons? We've seen Patrick Mahomes go out in 2018.
Hold on.
Have historical passing seasons.
I don't listen. You know what I don't like about Pat Mahomes, and y'all gonna kill me for this. And I've been saying it for years. Patrick Mahomes, and he admitted this. Patrick Mahomes do not read coverage well.
That was early. He said that early in his career. He said that early in his career, though. That was early in his career. There's no way you think he'd be that good not reading coverages.
That's what I'm saying.
Hold on, Cruiser. Byron,
you got 2018.
Hold on, Jordan. Byron, you made a weird face what Cruz had to sit there and say. What's your thoughts on this topic, and also what's your thoughts on what just Cruiser just sat there and said?
I mean, I'll address what he said first. Mahomes has showed an ability to decipher defenses at the highest level. I mean, he's ran a variety of schemes and has taken the Chiefs to top 5 in points per game, running the spread, running the West Coast. His ability to distinguish, even disguise coverages, we've seen at a high level in the postseason. So we haven't really seen quarterbacks decipher defenses to that level other than maybe Joe Burrow. I think it's disingenuous to say that Mahomes has trouble reading defenses. I think that's disingenuous.
He said that in 2018 too.
Mahomes struggled versus. Listen, let me tell you what was wrong with it. It's little stuff that when you watching the quarterback play, and it's little stuff that Mahomes don't throw. He don't anticipate well. If you watch, all right. I'm gonna give you an example. When Tyreek Hill left, and when Tyreek Hill left, and he went to Kansas City, right? They asked Tyreek Hill, and people shoved at it, but I knew what Tyreek Hill was talking about. They asked Tyreek Hill, what about Tua? He said Tua one of the most accurate quarterbacks that he's ever played with. And you know why he said that? Because Tua is better. He ain't Pat Mahomes. He ain't even, when it comes to throwing deep and all that, he's not close. But Tua has a better participatory throwing motion. He can read coverage better than Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes don't If you drop 7 back on Pat Mahomes, he's gonna struggle. You rather see Pat Mahomes throw from the pocket. He's either rolling right or rolling left trying to make a play on the run. He's not really that accurate.
Now you're dragging it. Now you're dragging it, bro.
Bro, Pat Mahomes, he's not an accurate passer of the football. He's not just
what?
You
don't watch film. You don't watch film, Cruiser.
Stop it. Mahomes has one of the best throwing mechanics in the league as far as footwork and throwing motion. I mean, his ability to generate torque without his feet even planted is unlike anything we've ever seen.
If you talk about Pat Mahomes, you think Aaron Rodgers got some? If you think about it, Pat Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers throw the same. They got bad feet in the pocket. Any coach, when you watch a film, they will tell you do not have feet. You know what? The best feet who they'll tell you to look at when quarterbacks go in the room, they ain't showing you clips of Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers.
They showing you Joe Burrows.
They showing you Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and hot guys who with great feet manipulate.
Andrew Brees.
Yes, those guys. Now you talk about.
But those quarterbacks lined up under center a lot more than Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. These quarterbacks work almost exclusively from pistol and shotgun. So when you're already 5 yards deep in the snap, there's no need to get a proper drop back. But when it comes to feet placement and footwork in the shotgun, it's more about placement in the pocket and when you're delivering the throw. It's not so much a drop back. You know, drop backs from under center are taught at a collegiate level. You know, so it's that the idea that they don't have clean drop backs and for that reason that they're inconsistent with their accuracy or their progressions of defenses to me doesn't make sense.
No, I didn't listen. I'm not saying that they can't throw the foot. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, listen, when you whether you're in a gun or the only difference between a gun and underneath the centers is your eyes. That's the only difference between the gun and under the center. Your eyes, where your eyes go, because when you're in a gun, you can see everything. But when you're underneath the center, you have to drop back and make sure your feet work is pristine. I'm not even talking about drop back. Even under the gun, your quarterback still have to have quick feet. Your quarterback still have to be able to climb up in the pocket. Your quarterback still got to be able to go right and left. Your quarterback still has to not be able to have a hitch in his throws and stuff like that. So your mechanics it all works hand in hand. Whether you underneath the center or out in the shotgun, it don't matter. When you coaching quarterbacks, one thing you want to coach your quarterbacks is called your pecker. You want to make sure your pecker is meaning I don't want to say the word, but your pecker is right at your target position. Your hips and your feet have to be very, very on point. And I think as a quarterback inside the pocket, as great as Pat Mahomes is, watching his feet work, him and Aaron Rodgers got bad feet. But his arm talent is so good that he get away with a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? But that don't mean he's just the most technically sound person. Guys like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, guys who athletically inclined, they footwork and precision, and everything what they do have to be on point. I'm gonna go back to Cam Newton. You know why Cam Newton struggled? He's a shoulder thrower. He's a thrower who throw with his upper body. That's why he struggled with his accuracy. People think it's your feet. Watch Peyton Manning. Everybody thought Peyton Manning used to be sloppy in the pocket with his feet choppy. They always tell you to have happy feet to keep your feet on the move, and you can be very accurate with the football. It's all about your feet and your hip placement, and you'll be a very accurate quarterback.
You cooking on that? I agree with that Cam Newton point. Like that's why people are like always talking about Cam Newton accuracy, because the way that he throws with his shoulder, he throws with that hip instead of just planting. He throws with that, and that's why I sat there and said that. You know what I'm saying? What's the benefit? Because I do think that him being 6'5", 6'6", he can read the middle of the field really well. Like I think he has this unique ability where he can just look one way and then snap his shoulders the other way, which give him very velocity on the ball. But just ask Byron, what quarterback era that you're taking that is going to lead your team or can lead teams in the near future? Like, what is the best quarterback era in your opinion?
I mean, to me, it's the 2000s to the 2010s. The Manning, the Brees, the Rodgers, the Brady. To me, Montana, Marino, Elway were more pioneers of the position, and mechanically speaking, they were all very sound. But you didn't see them, one, throw the ball frequently enough, but two, you didn't see it to quite the level of efficiency that we see today, especially with the MVP seasons that Rodgers has had, the dominance that Brady has had. Despite Rodgers with Brady as well. I think if you're going to use a ring argument in the sense that Joe Montana is more accomplished, Young's more accomplished, you can make that case, but I think it's really hard to accomplish and win Super Bowls when Brady and the Patriots dynasty dominated the league the way they did for so long. So I think from a regular season efficiency standpoint, completion percentage, passer rating, and throwing mechanics, 2010 is supreme. I think now in the modern era, you can see a lot of good mechanics throwing-wise quarterbacks, but I don't think you see the same emphasis on diagnosing defenses both pre-snap and post-snap. I don't think you see them play the small games that there is in the when it comes to the leverage of defenders versus the receivers. For example, Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, half the time it's option routes, and completely based on the corner's leverage, and it's all about delivering a well-thrown ball. And you don't really see that level of dominance in the small things of the game that you used to see back when passing offenses were really at their peak in the 2000s and 2010s.
I 100% agree.
Oh, real quick. Ioana, he asked a good question. So I think we all got the 2000s to 2010s. But if you had to choose from the other two eras, what would you pick, the 2020s to now, or would you pick the 1980s to 1990s? Me, I'm going 2020s to right now, for sure.
Yeah, I had to tend to agree. I mean, I think this era is just much more physically talented than the 80s and the 90s. But I just think that the reason why I'm going to say these quarterbacks, because I think that, and someone made this point, it's top heavy as I know what. Once you get past the Elways, the Youngs, the Montanas, the Marinos, it's like the fourth or fifth quarterback would not be a top 10 quarterback today, right? And I'm just looking at the talent, like operating the RPO systems, defenses getting more advances in the way that people are playing it. Just the extreme arm talent that guys have being physical runners, like, you know what I'm saying? I just honestly think that that's that talent gap. This is the talent gap. And we're looking at guys like Herbert, Burrow, Mahomes, Lamar, Josh Allen. Like we talking about, these guys are just have this superior arm strength that can make plays with they lay, which makes it very, very difficult to game plan for them, scheme against them, because now you're then talking about you're implementing a run pat the RPO, which is defenses. The defenders are crashing toward the edge, right? So it's like if I play the edge hard, it's gonna run it off, and it is like the arm strength, Lamar, Josh, Mahomes, these and Herbert's, like the arm strength that they have. I think this era is clearly better. Would you agree?
Yeah, I say the 2020s. The only thing with the 2020s is that we haven't seen them, longevity wise. That's what I feel like the 2010s era, like Brees and Brady they were longevity kings. Like Brady had more touchdown passes in his 40s than he did in his 20s, Brees got better as he aged, as he got to the Saints after he left the Chargers. But I feel like, the 2020s era, if you look at like quarterback peaks, and I do want to get on Jordan for that. But I know he was talking about his quarterback peaks. I would say that Lamar and Mahomes have already reached kind of like a top 7 quarterback peak of all time. Now back to what Jordan said. You said that. Yeah, I said that. But hold on. You said Ben Roethlisberger has a top 5 peak of all time. Is that what you said?
The fuck, nigga? I ain't say that shit. What the hell?
You said Ben Roethlisberger has a top 7 peak of all time.
No. I said.
You said like, 5 of your top 7.
Yo, don't tell me what I said. I'm gonna tell you what I said.
Wait,
I'm talking about yo. I'm gonna explain myself. So I'm talking about the top 7 quarterbacks. I'm not talking about peak. I'm talking about just career wise. I was just naming quarterbacks. I was talking about Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. I was talking about them. Ben Roethlisberger, no. I think he's just, if you compare the better quarterbacks from back then to the 2000s, 2010s, like if you go to like fucking Troy Aikman and shit like that, I think niggas like Ben Roethlisberger and shit, like they're better. That's what I'm saying. But don't tell me what I'm trying to say. But
what I heard you say was your top.
And I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. I know, but
hold on. You said top 5 out of your top 7, out of the top 7, 5 of them come from the 2010s era. That's what I heard you say.
Yes.
But anyways. Yeah, I think Lamar Jackson and Mahomes already have a top 7, a top 10 peak of all time.
No, they don't.
Yes, bro. Oh, wait. You want real quick. Okay,
Lamar's peak is not better than. Hold on. First of all, time out. How do you have a top 10 peak? And Cruiser, interview what I'm saying. How do we have a top 10 peak when his peak ain't better than Mahomes, his peak ain't better than Burrow, and his peak ain't better than Josh Allen? And I don't even know if Lamar peak is better than Justin Herbert's.
All right,
So you said Lamar's peak is not better than Justin Herbert's?
No, his peak is not better than
his peak's not better than Josh Allen's peak?
No.
His 2024 season peak.
Wait. What is Justin Herbert's peak?
Was not better than Josh Allen's 2020.
Justin Herbert's peak is 2021.
Nigga, how old is Justin Herbert? Why did he fucking peak so early?
That's the thing with people. People peak.
Well, hold on, Moogie. Hold on. What about Josh Allen?
Stats. He's going off stats, bro.
When's Josh Allen's peak?
Yes, you are.
Josh Allen peak was
right now. It's right now.
No, it's not. No, his peak was not last year. His peak was not last year. His peak was no, it was not. It was not last year. His peak was not last year. Please stop it. His peak was 2020. What was it, Bruce? I think it was
2020.
2023.
No, it was 2020. The year that he threw for like 4,500 yards, and then I think it was the game where he was snapping in the postseason against Mahomes.
Oh, I think that was 2023. That's 2023, I think. Then
no, it was not 2023.
2022.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was 21, 2022. It's one of those
22.
Yeah. I think that was. I would think that year was his peak. Just the high level throws that he was making. Yeah, the high level throws that he was making. That's the thing with Justin Herbert. The high level throws that he was making, while also being physically gifted as a runner, like that right there was better than any Lamar Jackson season.
Fuck.
How?
No.
How was so Lamar? Okay, Lamar Jackson's 2024 season. I'm taking over Josh Allen's 2020 season.
No, it's not. Why are you saying that?
He was more efficient, right?
It's easy to be. Hold on. It's easy to be more efficient when you have a team that is stacking the box against a Derrick Henry who teams.
But you're saying he's stacking the box, but he throws the ball with Justice Hill. Justice Hill's the third down back, so Justice Hill's going to be the quarter. Is it going to be the running back in a lot of those sets?
Hold on, you talking about Lamar's 2024 peak?
Yes, his 2024 peak.
Okay, so when we're looking at his 2024 peak, he lives off of separation. His receivers is the leader in separation per route run. He has a very good O-line. Josh Allen is required to do more. Josh Allen did not have no Derrick Henry. Josh Allen didn't have
go to wide receiver. Go to pass.
And on top of that, Josh Allen arm in the way that he was making plays on the run was the best, probably the best in the league. So when I look at all of that, also look at the production that he valued, plus looking at what he did in the postseason, those are better than Lamar Jackson.
But Josh Allen had a top 5 wide receiver.
Josh Allen also had a top O line. Like Lamar has a top O line. Like Josh Allen doesn't have a top O line. Also, Josh Allen had Stephon Diggs. Cole Beasley was All Pro that year. Like you saying that Lamar Jackson is not. You're saying he's efficient, but you're saying that he's efficient because he has receivers that lead the league in separation per route run. That's not true. You look at the separation per route run table. That is because of Lamar Jackson's ability to escape the pocket. So obviously his receivers are going to be large. That's not true. Yes, it is, and I'll show you. I can show you in the table. Lamar Andrews is literally high in separation per route run. Why do you think that is? You think it's because Mark Andrews is some amazing route runner?
That's not what the list measure. That's not what the list measure. The list measure of how many times a receiver is in open separation per route run. So when you have Todd Monken that is pre-installing breaks and routes where guys are just getting open and they're just literally a pre-advantage within the route where Lamar Jackson don't need to throw into tighter windows, that's not him extended plays. It's just him when he drop backs. There's guys that are open because of how simplistic the route concepts are. If
that's true, then how come Lamar's receivers were still leading the league in separation per route run before Tom Monken got there in 2022 with Greg Roman?
No, that's not true.
Yes, they were. They look at Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman was one of the highest.
Hold on. Tua led the lead in separation per route run in 22 to 23. So I don't know where you're getting that. Yes, Tua Dolphins.
No, I'm talking about the receivers. Look at the actual receivers. You look at receivers like Rashad Bateman. You look at receivers like Sammy Watkins. Like it's not just because they
were not leading the lead in separation per route run. That's just not true.
Yes, they were.
I mean, what you're suggesting by that statistic is that the receivers of the Ravens are the best in the league at separating. And I think we can all acknowledge that that's not the case. In fact, I think the Ravens have the bottom tier receiving room in comparison to the rest of the NFL. So I would question the legitimacy of that statistic.
Honestly,
I don't know why we can't just watch the game and see they're not getting consistent separation. I don't know why we got to go to stats.
Zay Flowers is one of the more fastest separators off the lead. His release is so quick where it really is. When you look at him on tape, he's getting separation down the middle of the field. Rashad Bateman yes, he is. He is getting consistent separation route tree. I watch these guys on film. Y'all cannot sit there and tell me that Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Rashad Bateman is not consistently getting separation. You know,
are they getting more separation?
I don't think they're separating as much as Diggs and Gabe Davis.
Fuck no, they're not.
Are they separating more than Jamar Chase and T. Higgins?
Hell no.
You said what?
Are they separating more than Jamar Chase and T. Higgins?
Yes, they are. They are as a whole. They're separating more than Mark Andrews.
You're telling me the Ravens receivers
if you're going to say that they are because
receivers.
The reason why they are is because the scheme in what Todd Monken runs, he runs a lot of boot actions, a lot of drag dig combos. He runs a lot of slant flat combos where it's just getting separation consistently within the route tree of the receivers. Whereas you look at the Bengals, most of their routes are in breaking routes and requires Joe Burrow to leverage more and requires him to throw into tighter windows. You're knowing the fact that the Ravens saw more single high safety more than Lamar saw more single high safety more than anybody in the league. So when you're seeing a lot of single high safety, a lot of times teams are playing man. So when you play man against a speed route receiver like Zay Flowers,
he's not even consistently beating man though.
Yeah, they're
Yes,
not.
he is.
And
That's
he's
yes,
not.
he
He's
is.
not much of a
Yes, he
How
is.
can you
not.
say?
He
How
is.
can you
He
say that
is.
Lamar is
He is.
facing man? They don't face man. That's not true. The reason
Yes,
you
they
can't
do. They play
Lamar,
man more
the
than
reason you
anybody.
can't play man against a guy like Lamar is because then there's no spy, and when there's no spy,
He
then
ain't play a
you
lot
have
of
Lamar
cover
Jackson
three,
You
bro.
can
off 25
you
yards.
you
That's
can
Yeah,
not.
hold on.
you can put a spy. You can put a spy. on
Hold
him.
on. You
But
can put a spy in, man. What are you talking about?
you could put a spy. Okay, how? Okay, but if there's one safety, let's say there's one safety at the top, right? It's going to be harder to put a spy because there's going to be you have corners and linebackers covering other players on the field, so it's going to be harder to put a spy on the field. That's exactly why Lamar Jackson plays more zone coverage. You saying that he plays more man coverage is a lie. That's not true.
That is true.
Yeah,
Lamar did face more single high safety more than anybody in the league.
I just said,
Right,
I said
but
man
see-
coverage.
Hold on.
Yes.
But my point is to sit there and say is that like when you look at how the Ravens were creating their separation, all you got to do is go watch film, and the stats don't lie. They create separation.
Okay,
more than
Mookie. So whose wide receiver room are you taking? You taking 2022 Josh Allen's wide receiver room or Lamar Jackson from the
outside of Stephon Diggs.
You can't say outside, bro. You can't say outside of the top 5 wide receiver. You
all
cannot say that.
Rashad Bateman is better than Gabe Davis.
No, the fuck he's not.
Yes,
bro.
he is. Rashad Bateman is
he's
better than
not.
him. He's a better route
Nigga,
runner.
2022?
Yes. Gabe Davis is ass. He's mid. What are we talking about?
Nigga,
Well,
so is Bateman.
Rashad Bateman top 50?
So you
He
know
out the
this.
league. Gabe Davis out of the league right now. Ain't
Nigga, we're talking about 2022.
Hold on.
But nigga, he was
Cruiser.
bugging, bro.
If y'all watch Gabe Davis is mid. He's not a good route runner. And on top of that, bro, he's inconsistent like I don't know
He was
what.
one of the best deep
Rashad
passes in the
Bateman
league.
was one of the better route runners in the league last year.
No, he was not.
was.
You're lying, bro.
Yes, he was.
You're lying, bro. You're lying.
But
All
like
right,
I said,
whatever.
Cruiser, what peak are you taking? Josh Allen or Lamar?
I'm gonna be honest, bro. If you talk about, bro, Lamar had a crazy rookie year, bro. Like that shit, like, bro, he had this rookie year, and then last year, even though he went MVP, was ridiculous, bro. I might have to go with Lamar on this, bro. Lamar just peak wise, bro. Bro, you gotta remember, bro. Josh was struggling a little bit when he first came in the league, man. You know what I mean? He was struggling. That's what was
talking about peak.
Hold on. The same way that Josh Allen was struggling, the same way that Lamar Jackson was struggling.
But Lamar struggled once he got to the playoffs.
How is Lamar struggling?
Lamar struggled once he got to the
Josh
playoffs.
Allen was ass his first 2 years.
How did Lamar struggle?
I'm gonna tell y'all something. The Ravens didn't even run heavy pass situation plays with Lamar, where Lamar has to even read half the field or full field reads. Like the Bills was running full field reads with Josh Allen. They didn't even trust Lamar Jackson to throw the football. It was RPOs, it was powers, it was basically just hand the ball off, and then we could do some slant and some flat combinations. There were no ways for Lamar to read the field.
And
how does that suggest he's struggling?
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. What are you talking about?
He started 8-0 as a starter when he as a rookie. How does that say that he was
struggling? What that has to do with the point of him struggling as a passer?
No, you just said he was struggling.
As a passer.
You said.
No, I said Lamar was struggling as a passer.
You never did not say that.
Well, the same way you could sit there and say with Josh Allen, you could say that for Lamar.
And Lamar was way better. 2019.
Hey,
that's one of the best.
Lamar's passing ability is secondary to what makes him so elite and what makes him such a difference maker. His first year in the league, while his passing ability wasn't totally there, he was making highlight plays week after week with his scramming ability. You remember? I can't remember if that's the move he put on the Bengals where the two defenders totally hit themselves. I can't remember if that's his rookie year, his second year, but it's one of those first 2 years.
2019.
Okay, gotcha. I mean, but the point still stands is that Lamar as a runner posed a threat early, and defenses had to cater to him early, and the Ravens immediately established offense success the second Lamar stepped on the field. His ability in open space to make defenders miss, it creates such a liability for defenses that at his peak, he has to be better than Josh Allen, because while Josh Allen does pose mismatches in certain elements of the offense, his threat of running the ball is not as, what's the word I'm looking for? As severe. You know what I mean? He's just simply not. You don't have to account for it to the degree of Lamar.
Hey Mookie, when you asked about the peak, I thought you was talking more like just what they did like as a totality. You know what I
No,
mean?
we're talking about like single season.
Yeah, that's when he said. I didn't know he was talking about. If you talk about passing, yeah, I'm gonna go with Josh Allen any day of the week. But I thought when you said peak Mookie, I'm thinking
No, Cruiser, we're talking about.
I want to rebuttal to what Byron said. Just because Lamar might be a better runner, which is still debatable, because if you love the physicality, if you love guys that's making guys miss and that can run over DBs or run over cornerbacks and stuff like that, and pose a legitimate threat as a physical runner, people can argue Josh Allen is a better runner than Lamar. But I just think that Lamar was just never the physical thrower of the ball, was never the pocket passer that Josh Allen. Even though both guys struggle, it's just when you look at Josh and Lamar's struggles was more to how he played the guy and how that he didn't develop. Where Josh Allen's struggles was more accuracy. So when I look at Josh Allen, accuracy and turnovers. But when I look at Josh Allen, I look at him being a gunslinger, him having the best arm talent in the game, him developing into a very good pocket passer, right? I just think that element to his game, and we got to understand the main value for a quarterback is what you can do in the pocket. Those are things that Josh Allen is do better than just Lamar Jackson. It's not even close.
But you could argue, like, especially this past year, you can argue Lamar's a better passer than Josh Allen. You can argue.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Yes, you
can.
Bro. Yeah,
I wouldn't say he's
no, you cannot. Bro, Jordan, stop being a fanboy, bro. You being a fanboy. No, you can't.
I'm not even a fan of the Ravens, bro. What are you talking about?
You're a fanboy of Lamar.
You can argue, bro. You can argue. Mookie,
you can't argue. You can't argue that Lamar is a better passer. No, you can't.
Yes, you can. He's better short game, better intermediate game.
Make the argument. Make the argument.
Okay, he has better pocket presence. He's a better short game, better. Yes, he does. He's better short game, better intermediate. He throws with more anticipation than Josh Allen.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
No, he does not, bro.
And he's also he's more accurate too. He's more accurate.
We gotta move on. So do y'all agree that Joe Montana is a top 5 quarterback in the game?
Like career?
Yeah.
Like career? You talking about career?
Why? I want to hear this argument why Joe Montana is a top 5 quarterback in the game.
4 Super Bowl appearances, 3 Super Bowl MVPs, and a total passer rating of 95.2 in all of his postseason games. He completes over 60% of his passes, and he's 16-7 in the postseason. For the 90s, he was one of the most accurate quarterbacks in football. Inside and outside the pocket, he was one of the best improvisers, and he opened up all kinds of possibilities for what otherwise would be a pretty one-dimensional offense.
Yeah, but it's the thing. I don't think that Montana sustained excellence was nowhere near the best in the league, right? I think Joe Montana had the benefits of playing in the best system ever in West Coast offense that was far more advanced than anybody in the league, right? I also think that Joe Montana, when you look at Joe Montana's totality of his career, he missed a lot of games throughout the totality of his career where he don't have a 10-year prime like Brees, like Brady, like Manning, like Rodgers, or even like Dan Marino in a way, right? He don't have those sustained excellence. Like he was never all-time great in the regular season. That's the thing about Montana. Was never all-time great in the regular season. Now he's won MVPs. He's had great seasons. He probably have one great season, maybe 2, where you can sit there and say, okay, that's one of the best seasons ever from a peak standpoint. But I just think that when you look at those other quarterbacks, those quarterbacks able to sustain it. Where Montana, let's look at Montana, bro. I mean, outside of just having those years with the 49ers, going to Super Bowls, and I think he's one of the greatest playoff quarterbacks ever. There's just nothing he does better than Manning, Brees, Rodgers, Brady, or even when Mahomes gets the longevity, he's better than Mahomes.
So wait, what's your criteria though for ranking quarterbacks? Because it seems like your favorite peak. Yeah, it seems like your favorite peak.
Who I favorite peak?
Yeah.
No, I don't favorite peak. I favorite how long your prime was, how you was able to lead historical offenses throughout your prime, the sustained excellence. So how many high-level years that you were able to have, your traits. I mean, I don't really put a a big gap on physical traits like strong arm running and stuff like that. But I feel it.
That doesn't make any sense.
I put a lot of value in your mental traits, your accuracy, your anticipation throwing, your ability to read defenses, right? Your ability to have a quick return to process coverages, how well you are as a pocket passer, right? And then I put it up together. And then when you look at that and I look at how great you was, I don't care about MVPs. I don't care about accolades. Those are team measurable things, right? When I look at all of that, I have to put him up there in the top 10.
So pretty much like your criteria, you don't value accolades, because I don't either, because I'm not going to value what another nigga votes for. So I agree.
Right.
But pretty much, so you go off of quarterback play and sustained greatness, like pretty much longevity. That's what you value.
Yeah.
And then who's your goal?
He had a good 8-year span though.
My bias goal is Drew Brees, but I got Drew Brees number 2 and I got Brady number 1.
What's your
never even won an
criteria?
MVP, bro.
Hold on. You said what?
Don't.
Brees has never won an MVP.
I don't value accolades. I think Brees had multiple.
Bro, I don't like that. I don't like that reasoning. I agree with you, Mook, because
I'm not going to sit there and say that Brees is not top 2 or top 3 because he never won an MVP when he's had historical peak seasons. And just because a narrative or a variable that he lost to other guys having a historical season, that don't mean I'm not going to.
I agree, because
MVP.
Because with these awards, you have to factor in the fact that it's relative to your competition at the time. So if you're playing in the best quarterback era like Drew Brees was, going against Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, especially Peyton Manning, who's probably arguably the best regular season quarterback of all time. I mean, you're not going to win MVPs, like, unless you're just going crazy. You could argue in 2011, even though I have Aaron Rodgers. You could argue he could have won MVP.
Yeah,
I mean, he had 55 touchdowns. I mean, he's really good.
If Drew Brees did what he did in 2011, any other year he's winning MVP.
I'm saying, and so, bro, if you drop Drew Brees in the 80s and 90s, bro, that nigga would be the GOAT, bro. Like,
bro,
so
Drew Brees nobody give Drew Brees his credit. Drew Brees got one of the best Super Bowl wins in NFL history. Bro, went like 32 or 30. I think he had completed 7 passes, bro. He went like 32 or 39 for 300 some yards, bro. That was
all right. So look, we got one more guy to get on this topic, and then we're going to move on to the wide receivers, one of my favorite parts. But Maz, what quarterback era that you think is the best? You grew up and watching these different eras between the 80s and 90s, the Joe Montanas, the Dan Marinos, the Elways, the Steve Youngs, the Brett Favre. Then you grew up to watch the Peyton Mannings, the Drew Brees, the Aaron Rodgers, and all these other guys. But then you're now seeing your favorite quarterback in Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert. So what quarterbacks that when you look at the IQ, when you measure their games, you know you love winning, what areas would you value?
Tom Brady, Peyton, Big Ben, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, realistically, I like Steve Young, I like John, I like Troy. I think those are the 3 guys in the 90s that I would go. Brett Favre. But I think Peyton, Tom, especially Aaron, and you throw in Big Ben, you know, for the most part, all those guys got multiple rings except for Aaron Rodgers. And they're high IQ quarterbacks, right? They can make the throws. They were, you know, high throw volume passers, right? You look at the 90s, I mean, Steve Young had Ricky Waters. Brett Favre had a decent running game. Troy had Emmitt Smith. You know, John Elway had Terrell Davis. And so we're talking about
Craig.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, that's a fact. So because this was the one topic that I wanted to really get into, is because different quarterbacks had different responsibilities based off their personnel, right? I don't think Tom had an elite running back. He had a good running back. I don't think Aaron had an elite running back. He had a cool one, right? I think Big Ben had Jerome Bettis, which was probably the best running back out of all of them. I mean, Edgar James was decent, probably even better than that. But I just think that, and then you talk about IQ, bro. And then let me throw in Drew Brees as well, you know, in that category as well. I mean, so for me, it's that second bunch after the 90s. So I think the mid-2000s, late 2012s, 2013s, for me, was a criminal crop for me.
I think there's like 11 Super Bowls.
So, Maz, why did you say that you like the 80s and 90s, though, Maz?
You said why?
Do you like the 80s and 90s over this era?
Let's see here. Joe Montana.
Elway, Steve Young.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Steve was on the Buccaneers, and he wasn't. I mean, he wasn't who he was in San Francisco. He's playing behind Joe for some years there. Got the guy in Buffalo, Jim Kelly. No, I think this era. Damn, but then again, bro, like those guys were good quarterbacks too. They were.
I'm talking about this era in like Joe Burrow, Lamar, Allen.
Yeah. I got you. Nah, I mean Patrick, Josh, those guys, bro, they're just much more talented. You know, I'll say this though: the rules are different. You can't touch a guy. Those guys played in a much more physical era, right? Receivers can be receivers. So I think in today's league, right, the game has changed. It's more like flag football. I don't respect it. And so you got quarterbacks dropping back 30, 40 times a game, getting inflated numbers. And so I don't know, bro. But I mean, talent-wise, I'm gonna take Patrick, Josh, Joe, you know what I'm saying, these guys. But
so is there any quarterback today in the 80s or 90s where you would put in this era and they'd be the best quarterback in the league?
Joe Montana.
Fuck no, nigga.
Joe Montana and Steve Young. Joe Montana and Steve Young. I think Joe would be the best quarterback in the league, and I think Steve Young will be right behind Patrick.
Hey, Mr. Max, listen,
Yes.
I got to ask a question. Hold on.
Yes, sir.
Max, they got on me because I said Randle Cunningham was better than Jalen Hurts passing the ball.
Of course he was. It wasn't even close.
I was trying to tell him.
It wasn't even close. Right. I mean,
these old niggas, man.
Warren Moon was better. I mean, like Michael Vick was better. I
Bro,
mean,
stop with this Warren Moon
Michael
shit,
Vick was
bro.
not better, bro.
Stop
Michael
with
Vick
this
never
Warren
even
Moon
completed
shit,
over
bro.
50% of his passes.
Bro, he threw 27 picks in the season, bro. Stop. We're cutting that shit off in 2025.
Hey, man,
Stop,
26
bro.
in the season, so what?
Okay, that wasn't his peak, bro. Who cares? That's peak Warren Moon. Stop it, bro. Stop.
Eli Manning 229.
Bro, Warren Moon isn't even a top 20 quarterback.
Bro.
Stop it, bro. Randall Cunningham top 10 either, bro. Stop it. That nigga
Samaz, why you didn't say Dan Marino?
I mentioned Dan Marino, but for me, winning matters. What you do from that position matters, right? I mean, as good as Justin Herbert is, he hasn't won, and I think he's a very high-skilled quarterback. But if you don't win in this league, then I can't put you on that tier.
So you have Steve Young over Dan Marino?
Of course. What the fuck? Yes.
That's not crazy.
Easy.
That's not crazy.
Yeah.
What?
Steve Young?
What?
Whoa.
Yes.
Bro, I'm high on Steve Young.
Hold on.
That's
Samaz, look at Steve.
Let me explain it. First of all, more accurate quarterback, better IQ quarterback. He can pass, he can throw, he can escape the pocket. Oh, and he has the NFL record versus Chargers in '94 with 6 passing touchdowns, right? And so Steve Young to me, before Drew Brees, was one of the most accurate QBs in league history, bro. In league history. So absolutely, listen, bro.
That's facts. That's facts.
Listen. I know quarterbacks don't dictate winning because they can't play defense. But when the ball's in your hands, I expect you to convert on third downs. I expect you to make key third down throws and plays, extend plays, use your legs, etc. Steve Young was Michael Vick before Michael Vick. Obviously, he's not the athlete Vick was, but he gave it to you in all ways. In the pocket, outside the pocket, he was tough. He played running back, bro, at BYU in Utah. I mean,
so, Moss, why you don't talk about how Steve Young was like in a West Coast offense that he was throwing to
concussions hurt Steve Young.
Hold on. Why you don't talk about Steve Young throwing more underneath passes, which inflated his completion percentage? Because I know you're not sitting there telling me outside the numbers, deep ball, vertical route. He's even the same ballroom of Dan Marino. We talking about
watch this, you guys.
And being able to throwing darts. So Dan Marino got one of the more quicker releases in the game. He has a historical arm. His production was behind his time. Dan Marino didn't have a West Coast offense that freaking Steve Young had. Come on, Miles. What are you talking about here?
Hey, you guys, Mookie's easy to beat because he just talked about Steve Young throwing underneath passes and short passes. Steve Young and Jerry Rice are second behind Jeff Garcia and Terrell Owens in long ball passes. So obviously Steve Young was pushing the ball downfield to Jerry Rice. And so he was much more than just a 5-yard, 10-yard passer. Now I'll give it to you. Terrell Owens, J.J. Stokes, Jerry Rice, a.k.a. rack yards, run yards after the catch. They were great at that. But did you forget that Steve Young is second behind Jeff Garcia with Terrell Owens, along with Jerry Rice with the most touchdowns over 30 yards more?
I don't even know that's true. I don't even know that's true. But like I sat there and said, is that when I look at Dan Marino, the degree of difficulty in the throws that he may have one of the better quick releases. He was more talented. If I put Dan Marino with fucking Jerry Rice, Moss, what do you think would be happening? It would be another Tom Brady and Randy Moss all over again, but we're looking at it in the 80s and 90s. So, like I sit there and say, it's a difference, bro. Bro, Dan Marino was playing with the Duper brothers, right? And Duper brothers was good, but they're nowhere good as Jerry Rice with the team that he played with in that defense that he played with. Moss, come on, Moss, you know that.
Well, Mookie talks about accuracy.
Dan Marino had a bottom tier running game every year.
Mookie talks about tight windows and tight throws. Niners versus the Packers. Owens. That's probably one of the best balls I've seen thrown in league history. Dan Marino has ever put a ball like that in between three defenders right on the money. Like, did you forget? Bro, Steve Young was the most accurate quarterback in league history.
I mean, no, he's not. He's not.
No. I said he was. He was.
Byron, what you got on this? Because you look like this is just crazy. Go ahead, Byron.
Yeah, I'm pretty outraged. Steve Young, I mean, don't get me wrong, Steve Young is one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen. He's one of the first dual threats. He was extremely accurate. He was able to be decisive and go through his progressions. I understand all of that, but Dan Marino is one of the greatest arm talents that we've ever seen. And he's playing with a roster that is not really comparable to the other rosters during that time. His defense gave up well over 26 points per game in the postseason, and versus Steve Young's only gave up around 20, 21. And then obviously Joe Montana, that defense was like 17 or less. So you can't disregard the rosters and the personnel that each quarterback played with. And when you watch Dan Marino throw the football, I mean, you want to talk about perfect mechanics. He truly was a quarterback with perfect mechanics. It was him and Elway that really were just throwing the most beautiful darts with the most power behind it. You didn't see balls thrown like that by Steve Young. I think Dan Marino is one of the few quarterbacks from back then that really would excel today based on the passing style that they employed, and despite the lack of receivers. To me, Marino is one of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen, and one of the most accurate by far.
He hasn't won, so I don't care about none of those fucking stats and shit, bro. Listen, at the end of the day,
but Steve Young won once. He won once.
Listen, bro, one is more than zero for a fact, right? One's more than zero, and number two is this: as great as Dan was, and I can admit he has great, just pure arm talent, right? But at some point, your talent has to rise to the occasion. I'm sorry.
And Moss, let's let you know since you love Moss. Let's let you know if you love winning, right? Who you taking this to win? Jalen Hurts or Steve Young? Jalen Hurts or Dan Marino?
I'm taking Jalen Hurts
over Dan Marino.
Yeah, he's proven to win, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's proven to win on a super team. Yeah,
you think Jalen Hurts is
Hold on, you guys. Listen. You can be a better athlete, better player. Doesn't mean that I'm going to take you because it's all about fit. First and foremost, right? And I know Jalen played on a super team, but this past Super Bowl, when he was asked to make key third down plays, he made every single pass that needed to be made. High IQ plays, right? When they needed it the most. And
but
so
Moss,
hold on, bro. I can admit that Dan's more just pure gifted, but I'm talking about just impact and winning and fit. And so I can separate the two. Yeah, Dan's more talented, but doesn't guarantee a win. I'm taking Hurts, bro. He's done it. So this is crazy.
You don't think you put Dan Marino in that Eagles situation last year? You don't think he win?
I don't do what ifs, bro. He didn't get it done. Sorry. That shouldn't work on me.
If Dan Marino had the best offensive line in football, the league's leading rusher, one of the best receiving duos in football, the idea that he wouldn't succeed is ridiculous. The passing schemes that Dan Marino was able to execute, the caliber he was able to execute with the receivers that he had is unparalleled to anything Jalen Hurts has ever accomplished, schematically speaking. The sole reason, like you say, in these opportunities, he seizes it and he makes high IQ plays. Well, these opportunities, how easy is it when you've got one of the best rushing attacks in football?
Yeah, when I saw Dan Marino in the Super Bowl for
RPO system.
when I saw Dan Marino on the biggest stage, when he did get the team to the big game, he lost 38-16 to the 49ers, man. Nowhere to be found.
Yeah, to a way better team.
Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found.
Wait. Has Jalen Hurts ever even threw 4K yards in a single season?
No.
Why is that matter for? He's a Super Bowl champion. Who cares? So what?
Wait.
A guy with elite weapons.
So's Trent Dilfer. So's Eli Manning.
Wait, so where do you have
why would you
Jalen
go
Hurts?
for 4K in one season when you got Saquon in the back?
Wait,
He just had him this last year. He didn't have him his whole career. What are you talking about?
Wait, Maz, where do you have Jalen Hurts ranked? Where do you have Jalen Hurts ranked today then?
I don't know, like 8, 9, 10. I think we did this topic week 1.
How is
like,
he 8, 9, or 10? But you said you would take Dan Marino over him, or you would take.
No.
Jalen
I
Hurts
said that.
Marino.
Listen. I said that Dan Marino is the more gifted, talented quarterback. But I don't go off of that. I go off of fit and impact. You could be a better quarterback, but that doesn't mean that I'll take you because it's all about the fit.
Oh,
we gotta move on. We gotta move on to the quarterbacks, and make sure y'all smash the like button. Salute to everybody in here, ladies and gentlemen. This was a very, very heated topic as well. And don't forget to join Underdogs. That's what Rated R is sponsored by. Deposit and get up to $1,000 in bonus funds. Promo code Rated R. Click the link in the chat to be able to join Underdog. You get $1,000 in bonus funds as well. So don't forget to be able to sign up. Now we got to talk about who the quarterbacks are throwing to. We got historical wide receivers debates, right? When we talk about eras between wide receivers, we got Randy Moss, we got Jerry Rice. Then when you look at the transition era, we got Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, Odell Beckham, right? And then when you look at the new era, we got Jamar Chase, Jettis, Tyreek Hill, right? Those wide receivers. So I got to ask the panel. This is my favorite topic. Which wide receivers are y'all taking? I want to start with Cruiser. What wide receivers are you taking, and why will you take those group of wide receivers?
I'll probably take that's the 2000s. T.O., Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson, as they consider in the 2000s, they consider that era there. I'll take that era right there. I'm gonna take that era right there, man. You got speed, you got route running, you got all of them big. Larry Fitzgerald. I think, man, that era right there was just, man, the pinnacle to me of receivers. And then the older guys. Don't get me wrong, Jerry Rice, man. You know, some people consider. I feel like T.O. to go, but I'm gonna give if you say Jerry Rice, I ain't mad at you. 22,000 yards receiving, all the Super Bowls. You can't discredit that. You know what I mean? So if you're accolades guy and stuff like that, you roll with Jerry Rice. But I just think T.O., man, T.O. was so amazing to me, man. His after the catch run, his catch radius, how physical he was off the line of scrimmage, how he could take a hitch route at that size and be able to take it to the crib, man. And every team he played for, he gave you production. I don't think it's one team he played for where he didn't give you at least 1,000 yards. Man, T.O. was that dude to me. So I think I'm going to roll with the T.O. era, man. Randy Moss, Larry Fitzgerald, Calvin Johnson, all those guys.
Maz, what you got on this?
I think he's spot on, bro. And you got thrown in Jerry Rice too because he played until 2004. Yeah. So Jerry, Terrell, Randy, Chris Carter, Megatron. I mean, listen, bro. I mean, it's a consent. Terrell Owens. I mean, Jerry and Terrell are slotted. And Randy Moss are slotted as the 3 best receivers of all time, arguably. So how can you not take them? I mean, and listen, they played in a much tougher era. You had to be more physical. You had to get separation. They let you hand fight. And so in this new age era, you can't even touch the receivers, right? The DBs are at a disadvantage on every goddamn play. I mean, there's some cool receivers in today's era, but, bro, they don't stack up to Jerry Rice, Terrell Owens, Chris Carter. Like, you can't name one receiver in this era who has better hands than Chris Carter. You can't name one receiver.
Justin Jefferson.
Yes, he does.
You can't name one receiver in this era who's
Justin Jefferson
more than Terrell Owens or Megatron.
Hold on, Moss. Who's better, Justin Jefferson or Chris Carter? Route running.
Chris Carter is.
Chris Carter. Are you kidding me? Chris Carter ain't not a better route runner than Justin Jefferson. What are you talking about?
He's better, bro.
Justin Jefferson got better. He got a better diamond technique. Like he's much better off the release. What are you talking about? Better footwork. Come on, Moss.
Let me land my plane real quick. I'm gonna close with this. You can't name me one receiver who's more physical and more physically imposing than Megatron or T.O. in this era. You can't name me one receiver with better hands than Chris Carter, and you cannot name me a more complete receiver from top to bottom better than Jerry Rice. Bro, like, this shouldn't even be a debate. It's those guys hands down.
Okay. I can name you a receiver that's better than Jared Rice. That's Randy Moss, right?
No, Randy's inside that era, bro.
Oh, Randy inside there. Okay.
Yeah, he's in
Wait,
that era.
But he's not better than Jerry.
I'm confused. I thought we were doing what we did. I thought we had the
80s,
80s,
we're doing 80s and 90s, 2000s. Because I made a
I know.
I made a list.
That's why what I'm saying is this is that I'm saying there is a better route runner than Chris Carter. That's Justin Jefferson. That's Devontae Adams clears. That is Tyreek Hill. Like, I can name multiple route runners that are better than Chris Carter. Man, Jamar Chase is a better route runner. What are we talking about here?
Are they better receivers?
No, bro. No.
Are they better receivers?
Yes.
Jamar's better.
Than Chris Carter?
Yes.
Jamar's better than Chris Carter.
Sure he is.
Oh my God.
Boss, why he's better, boss? Why he's better?
Well, don't forget, you guys, Chris Carter was getting the ball thrown to him by Dante Culpepper and other average quarterbacks, right? You think Joe Burrow is the best QB in the league today? That's you.
Yeah, Randle Cunningham.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and Randall. But you think Joe Burrow is the best QB in the league. Chris Carter didn't have that. Throw the ball up and let him just go get it.
And dude did have 100. Hey, Chris Carter did have 130 touchdowns, bro. That's a lot of fucking touchdowns.
Of course it is, bro. I mean, they're talking about some goddamn Jamar Chase. Man, are you kidding me, bro? Stop it. I'm cooking today, bro. That's crazy.
Mons, who you think has stretched the middle of the field? Like, who you think is better vertically, Chris Carter or Jamar Chase?
Chris Carter. Chris Carter.
What
He was a slot receiver.
Yeah,
Chris Carter is better.
Chris Carter's in a slot, Mons. How the hell are you going to give you that same value as Jamar Chase?
Chris Carter is a better
Doesn't
receiver.
Chris Carter run like a 4.7?
You guys,
Right,
why
Chris
are we
Carter.
looking at it? I asked a question. Who's the better receiver? And it's Chris Carter. Y'all trying to like nitpick at like little.
It's not nitpicks. We're talking skill set.
Wait, why is he a better receiver then?
Who? Chris Carter?
Yes.
Because he's bigger, he's more physical, he has better hands, he can route run. Like he can play versus a soft defense, he can play versus press, bump and run. I mean, zone. However you want it, bro. Chris will give it to you, bro. Chris is a complete receiver. Chase isn't that. This is crazy.
Chase is wait. What flaws in Jamar Chase's game? What's the flaw? You said he's not a complete wide receiver.
What's a flaw?
Yes.
I've seen Chase struggle versus physicality and bump and run.
What are you talking about? Against who?
I have.
Against who?
I've seen it, bro. I've seen.
Against who?
Hold on, bro. I've seen Jamar Chase literally like get out physical, and I'm not gonna say he quit, but yeah, he didn't want that smoke.
Against who?
He don't want that smoke, man.
Nigga, you just against who?
Bro, make your case for Jamar Chase, man. This shit crazy, bro.
You just
Make
said
your case,
that,
bro.
bro. He's one of the most bro. He is one of the best yak receivers in the league. How is he not physical? That's cat.
He's more physical than Chris Carter.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
God damn, bro.
How many TDs he got, bro? How many TDs he got in his first 5 years?
Bro, we're talking peak too. What are you talking about?
Hey, Byron, we can't hear you. What'd you say, Byron?
I'll just be talking with my mic muted sometimes, so I don't interrupt. But I wasn't really saying nothing. I can let y'all finish.
Yeah, what you got on what Mons just sat there and said? Because I mean, I could name 1,000 receivers better than Chris.
I mean 7 wide receivers, like 10 wide receivers better than Chris Carter.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we know what makes Chris Carter so good. I mean, he is a clean route runner for sure. He's got one of the best hands in history. He didn't really drop balls, and he was incredibly impressive at contested catches as well. But the idea that he stretches the ball or stretches the field vertically like Jamar Chase is completely disingenuous. Jamar Chase has a much more wider variety of release packages, a wider route tree. He's put up a better single season numbers than Chris Carter ever has. I don't really see where Chris Carter, other than maybe hands, is better than Jamar Chase. He's better at the release. He's better at the top of the route. He's a bigger threat vertically. Jamar Chase, he might seem undersized, but I think he's 6'6'1". He's not small. So I don't I don't necessarily see where the big gap is between Chris Carter and Jamar Chase that you think he's so much obviously better. I can understand the career numbers, but peak for peak and evaluating their skill set, Jamar Chase is as versatile and as much and as big of a playmaker as any receiver that honestly that we may have seen. It's a little soon to put him in the all-time category, but peak for peak, he's establishing clear dominance right now. As a
so
receiver.
What is his peak then, bro? I mean, you're saying peak for peak. I mean, last year, Chris Carter.
He's just triple crown.
Chris Carter's career high in touchdowns was 17. I think Chase had 17 last year. So would you say last year's his peak?
Yeah, but I mean, what was Chris Carter's yardage number?
And guess what? His peak, and he missed the playoffs. I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
how are you gonna use that
the 31st ranked defense should be disingenuous.
Wins for a wide receiver is crazy, bro. Like, bro,
yeah. If you're that great, you're that great, bro. Sorry.
Even quarterback, I guess, but bro, wide receiver, bro, are you crazy? They have the worst defense in the league.
Burrow is the best QB in the league right now. That's who's throwing him the football. Chris Carter didn't always have that. Chris Carter had Dante Culpepper, and I think Randle is cool, but we're talking about average or a little above average QBs, and Chris had to adjust his route, adjust his position, go up and get it. Like Chris wasn't getting darts and balls thrown in his breadbasket like Jamar Chase is. Like Chris had to work extra hard just to catch the goddamn football, and guess what? He caught it for 130 times in the end zone.
Besides hands, what is?
Bro, can we wait until we even listen? Can we just wait until we compare these two dudes, bro? I mean, like, come on, 46 touchdowns for Chase, 130 for Chris Carter, bro. Like, this is crazy.
But you look at the season, stats. Why you're like disregarding the fact that Jamar Chase had one of the best receiver seasons of all time? I feel like
it means nothing, bro. His team missed the playoffs, so I don't care. His team missed the playoffs.
But why are you using the playoffs against a receiver though? That's more of like a quarterback thing.
And not even that.
It's not even a quarterback thing.
It's
a team thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a team thing, but I've never heard someone say, this guy's not a good receiver.
We're going to discount winning now.
Determining wide receiver impact by wins.
Also, I got to ask you, who's a better route receiver? Like, we talking about route running hands. Antonio Brown or Chris Carter?
Chris Carter.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Chris Carter, bro. Chris Carter. As y'all can see. Bro, listen, I'm not even naming T.O., Jerry, Randy, or Megatron. I'm going to the 5th or 4th best receiver in that era, and Chris Carter. Don't let me talk about Jerry Rice or Terrell Owens or Randy Moss.
You don't watch tape.
There's nothing Chris Carter do better than freaking Antonio Brown, and we talk about terms of route running. He has some of the best footwork, technique, when we talk about terms of route running than anybody in the league in his era. What are you talking about?
Moss, do you watch?
Listen, Keyword. The key word is in his era, but inside Chris's era, he wouldn't be a top 5 receiver.
It's not even era. It's history. It's history.
He's not better than Chris Carter, bro. Sorry.
Moss, have you watched Antonio Brown before?
Of course, bro. He's a very good receiver.
All right. What number did he wear?
Very great receiver.
What number did Antonio Brown wear?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
So you're not watching tape, bro. Like, you're not watching tape.
I don't know.
You're not watching tape, bro. You're not watching tape.
I got no numbers now. I have to know numbers now.
Moss, who's better? And, Chris Carter, Julio Jones.
I love Julio Jones, bro. Chris Carter. Yeah, you're laughing. I'm not laughing, bro. That's what's funny. See, y'all laughing. I'm not laughing. Y'all praising. I'm not, bro. It's Chris Carter. I know, huh? I know.
So where you got Chris Carter rank? Where you got Chris Carter rank?
Higher than Julio Jones all time?
No, I'm saying
higher than Antonio Brown.
Hold on. Who you talk about wide receivers in the game?
Of all time.
Of all time?
Yeah. Jerry
Rice, T.O., Randy, Chris, Megatron.
So you got Chris over Megatron?
Over Larry?
No. Listen, it's not in no order. I just named 5 receivers.
Where's Larry Fitzgerald?
He's probably number 6.
Oh my.
He's better than
Chris Carter's better than Larry Fitzgerald?
Yes, bro. Yes. Listen, I know y'all didn't watch him play, but Chris is a beast, bro. Chris is a beast.
That's not explaining how he's better. I mean, I don't know what he does.
Football? Moss, can we talk football, please? Like,
go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro. You can talk.
How is he better? I'm saying, how is he better though? You got hands.
Because he's a more complete receiver, bro. I already told you. He's big. He's physical.
What aspects?
He can go across the middle. He has elite hands, right? And again, He's getting the ball
Larry,
thrown to him.
Larry was also
Quarterbacks who aren't that
physical,
good.
and he was also one
Bro,
of the best.
Larry's hands are better than Chris Carter's.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Yes,
No,
they
they're
are.
not.
He has more
Yes, they
tackles than
are.
drops.
Yes, they
No,
are.
they're
Yes, they are.
not.
He has more
Yes, they
tackles than drops. Yes.
That's crazy. That is so.
No,
that is
they're not
absolutely
better, bro.
insane.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are, bro. You don't watch tape, Moss.
But also, I want to get to Jordan. Jordan, what era wide receivers that you're taking?
No, because I mean, the prompt said 80s to 90s, 2000s and 2010s, and then 2020s to now. So I did 2000s, 2010s. I think Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, Marvin Harrison, Torrey Holt, Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, Calvin Johnson, AJ Green, DeAndre Hopkins. God, bro, that is crazy.
Yeah, that's
Bro, like I think the most talented, like just best best peaks at the wide receiver position. It's easily 2000s, 2010s. But if I had to go the next one, it'd be 2020s to now. Because if you look at the 18 and 90s, I mean, you got Jerry Rice, you got Michael Irvin, Chris Carter, all them, Steve. But then if you start going down the list, then you start getting to the Keyshawn Johnsons and Jimmy Smiths and shit like that, bro. This shit is
also
fried,
Moss.
bro. It's fried.
Michael Thomas peak is better than Chris Carter.
Jerry Rice, Terrell Owens, and Chris Carter, touchdown wise, nope. Like take every receiver from 2010 until now, they would never surpass those three receivers and touchdowns alone, bro. Like what the fuck what's going on right now? This is crazy.
Touchdowns is really the only statistic that you can pull out that supports that.
Oh, so teams don't matter.
And,
Hold on, bro. So touchdowns don't matter?
Byron.
I didn't say that they don't matter,
don't
but I said it's
matter?
the
Oh,
only thing
wide
that you
receivers
can
don't
use
matter.
to support your argument. And why? And I watched the Dante Culpepper with Randy Moss and Chris Carter.
Mm-hmm.
He was the only real red zone threat that they have. The way that they were bracketing Randy in the red zone and the way that they were loading the box, they couldn't run the ball worth a lick in the red zone, or they couldn't run it all season. So the only way that they were truly scoring touchdowns when Randy was bracketed, which is for sure, was Chris Carter. He's the only real red zone threat that they had during that entire tenure. It's like the Mike Evans. He leads the league in touchdowns throughout his tenure, and he's not a premier receiver in the league in comparison to other guys. But he's on the top in touchdown numbers.
Cook that.
So what era a receiver are you going with?
I'm going with the same era. The era, absolutely.
Exactly.
But I think your take on Chris Carter is
Because he's talking about the collective. He's talking about the
Why are
collective
you guys
of
focused on Chris Carter for it? Focus on
because you keep bringing him up.
It's
Hold
a
on, bro.
crazy take.
Oh, okay. Listen, it could be crazy, but we still have Jerry, Terrell, and Megatron and those guys. So don't they? I mean, let's focus on those guys though too.
Wait, but I thought again, I like from what the prompt said, it said 80s to 90s, right? So in my eyes, I would have like Randy Moss and like guys like Antonio Brown and Julio Jones in the same era. Is that
Yeah, like it's not fair. It's not fair. Yeah, it's not fair.
Because like you're kind of you're including like Jerry Rice, and then you're also including guys
He
like
played until 2004 though, bro.
But you don't count him in the 2000s though. Like his peak was in the 90s. 80s.
So why would we count Jerry? I mean, but Terrell, Randy,
I know.
and those guys all played in the late 90s and 2000s. So I mean, like,
but they played most of their career. Most of their career was in the 2000s. 2000s. Though. We're talking about like pretty much the bulk of their career. That's how I did it at least. I associated the era
right,
to wherever
because Randy was drafted in 97.
Moz, you got T.O. over Randy?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Nah,
Yep,
I do.
That's not crazy.
That's not crazy though. Why you got T.O. over Randy?
Yeah, it's not that crazy, but
I think just from a, if you tell me just line up and just run a go route, I'm taking Randy Moss every day, all day, every day. But just route running, the physicality, the rack yards, the touchdowns, the way defenses had to bracket him, cover two. I mean, Randy demanded that type of attention as well. But I just think the separator for me is career touchdowns and then the physicality. T.O. can turn a fucking 2-yard whip pass into an 80-yard touchdown, which we've seen him do it on several occasions. So I'm going to take T.O. It ain't by a lot, but I'm going to take T.O.
Yeah, I just think that I think when you look at Randy, I think Randy was better vertical. Like, why are y'all like the fact that we seen Randy, and this is the thing which y'all understand. Part of the reason why a team implemented cover fours, corners, like because how dominant Randy was stretching the field vertically. Like he's the best vertical threat wide receiver in the game. And we seen him in the Vikings year where he was playing at an MVP caliber level multiple years, how he was literally ball hawking the ball, having the eyes, the teeth of the defense, catching the ball over two guys. Like Randy as an X is probably the greatest X wide receiver in the game. Now, if you want to say that T.O. has a better career, that's fine. But I just think Randy route running with how well he can be able to stretch the field vertically, it's just something that I've never seen before. Like the way that he can high, like Randy got the best high point of any wide receiver, bro. Like his high point was so elite, bro. Like I ain't gonna lie, I'm taking Randy, bro. Give me Randy over T.O. I think Randy is close. Okay, if you go off a career, y'all would take Jerry Rice over Randy, right?
Of course, you can't. The longevity is
okay.
crazy, bro.
But from skill perspective, who is if you had to do a top 10 when we looking at skills, like who is the most skilled wide receiver? Who would it be?
It's Jerry Rice.
I would say it depends on your definition of skill, but I would say the route running and the releases, how he was able to develop.
Speed, hands. I mean, I think
those are
Rice.
skills. Yeah, I would agree.
So what would y'all do? You have a top 10 on the list? Like, what would y'all go with that top 10? If y'all think of it, would y'all put like guys like AB, Justin Jefferson, all these modern day wide receiver, or you like a guy like Nas, or where y'all would sit there and tax, the players for playing in a more offensive situation in the era?
I mean, I would definitely have Antonio Brown and like Julio Jones, for example, in my top 10 for sure. But I think there's some guys from the 2010s that I probably have above Julio and AB, like Fitz, like Megatron.
Wait, are we talking relative to era or just like in a general perspective?
General perspective. Hold on, you think
then Jerry Rice isn't even top 3.
What?
And who's on him?
Bro, Randy Moss.
Okay.
Megatron,
damn.
Julio Jones. Antonio Brown. We're not talking relative to era, bro. Bro, that shit is outdated what he was doing. That shit
he ain't named Jerry Rice.
That shit getting boxed up in today's league, bro. Stop it.
You think Jerry Rice is getting boxed in today's NFL?
You can't even touch receivers.
By the top DBs.
I was getting boxed up.
Bro. PS2 is strapping that shit, bro. Like, come on. Let's be honest, bro.
Much physical error.
Bro, PS2 is strapping that shit.
PS2 got cooked by George Pickens. Come on, Jordan. Stop it, bro.
Every elite DB gets cooked in certain games.
But I'm just saying, like,
bro, you're acting like Jerry Rice didn't match up against Dion in the NFC Championship game every year, bro. Like, they didn't match up with each other, the 49ers. Dion's one of the best cover corners we've ever seen. And Jerry Rice was giving Dion work consistently.
I agree, but I'm talking about just, bro, the game of football has evolved. Just, I feel like just players are just more athletic. More
it's easy.
If we're talking relative to the era, I got Jerry Rice number 1. But, bro, if you're just talking about from like a general, just not like Ellis or like era, bro, that's just getting strapped.
I mean, in his defense, like the 2010s and 2020 receivers, they're facing more, press man. Quarters.
No, they're facing more flags, 15-yard penalties, holding calls. They're facing, bro. What the hell is y'all talking about?
But man? You can't lie. They are facing more advanced defenses. Like,
bro.
It's harder. Like, you know what I'm saying? The defenses are like harder to like play against.
Y'all don't
play zone defense. I can get off the line, go sit in a zone and catch the football, bro. Like, that's not hard to do in today's league. Find a zone, sit, turn around, and catch football. What the hell are you talking about, bro?
But teams are playing.
In fact,
every team runs a nickel package. Like 70% of the NFL is now nickel. So now you have an extra corner on the field. They're ready for all these, spread offenses, West Coast. So they're all ready for that now. So that's
you don't think Jerry Rice has an IQ to
I'm not saying. I think Jerry Rice.
So y'all think Jerry Rice would come in today's league and start? You think he would like cook crazy? Y'all think so?
He'd be the best receiver in the league, bro.
No, he wouldn't. No, he
wouldn't. Bro, no, he would not. Bro.
In the league, he'd be the best in the league.
Bro, do y'all not acknowledge evolution? Do y'all not acknowledge that, bro? Look at the tape. Compare the tape. If you watch Jerry Rice in his peak, yes, bro, the route running was fucking amazing, bro. He's one of the fastest wide receivers of all times. Hands, literally everything was top tier in that era, bro.
Crazy, bro.
But if you compare that to today's league, bro, Justin Jefferson is a better wide receiver than Jerry Rice, bro. If you look at the tape, bro.
I completely disagree.
Also, Jordan, bro, I can't really value Jerry Rice like that because he was using stickums. So I don't know how great his hands was because he was using stickums to be able to enhance his catching ability.
Facts.
The gloves today also have sticky stuff on them.
It's not the same.
It's not the same, but I mean it's still sticky.
But they were using a banned substance where they would literally put stickums on there. So that means every time they would throw a ball, it's easy to catch it. But then Miles want to sit there and say Jerry Rice had one of the best hands. I can't sit there and say that. And number two, I can't sit there and put Jerry Rice over the best deep threat receiver of all time and Randy. No, Randy combination, bro. Randy was one of the 4-3. 4-3. What was Randy was like 6'3", 6'4"?
Relative to era, Randy Moss.
The numbers.
Jerry had better attributes than just.
I know the numbers. I know the combination. I know the sustained greatness, the longevity. That's why I sit there and say I value the prime, the longevity. I have Randy. I have Jerry over Randy. But when I look at from a skill perspective, bro, Randy is better skill wise. Like,
who performed in big games? Jerry Rice did, bro. Jerry Rice performed on those 4 Super Bowls.
But those are you talking about high variance, small.
He has to catch the ball, run. He performed. Randy did not perform.
Moss, you were just comparing. No,
scored 14 points,
bro. You're picking and choosing, bro, because you were just
Randy Moss and the Patriots scored 14 points versus the Giants and those DBs. Stop it, bro.
For Chris Carter, you were bringing up the situation who was throwing the football. Now the situation, compare Randy Moss situation to Jerry Rice, bro. It's not comparable. Who's throwing the ball to Randy Moss?
I'm not doing no what if, bro. I'm not doing it, bro. Listen.
No, you did the same shit for Chris Carter.
I'm not doing what is, bro.
You did the same shit for Chris Carter, bro. What are you talking about?
5 dudes before he named Jerry Rice talking about.
Yes, bro. The football is evolution, bro. Y'all, you just stop, bro. We don't watch
okay.
It.
Okay, but the idea that just because Randy Moss was 6'4" and he ran a 4.3 and he used to jump out the gym does not mean that he's a better receiver than Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice ran a full route tree with a variety of releases that you did not see in Randy Moss' game. He was heavily reliant on the speed release. That's one thing. Like the hands, the breaking off at the top of the route. Jerry is the pure definition of it, and I don't see a receiver in today's game that breaks off the top of the route like Jerry Rice. There just simply isn't. It's sudden, it's quick. There's no Justin Jefferson, the best route runner in football. He does not break off the routes like Jerry Rice used to. There were no tells whenever he was going to stop on a route. The sudden change of direction in Jerry Rice's game is unparalleled to any receiver that we've ever seen. And as a result, we see him separate more than any receiver that we've ever seen, put up more numbers than any receiver has ever put up. He's got 4 Super Bowl rings, I think, right? He's got 4 Super Bowl rings and has been part of one of the most efficient offenses in the Super Bowl era. So what are we talking about other than Randy Moss being 6'4", fast and mossing people more? Where exactly is he a better receiver?
Okay, he got better hands. He got better hands, and Randy Moss physicality was much better than Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice, and you try to say Jerry got better hands. No, he don't. If a guy has to use stick,
he absolutely does.
No, he doesn't. He don't have better hands. And also, when we look at Randy Moss is the reason why the coverages are being played the way the coverage is being played, because he was just so extreme at stretching the field vertically that no one could keep up with him. They were still bracketing him. He was still catching over 2 guys. When you look at Randy Moss, Randy Moss was very great, but let's be honest. He played in a West Coast offense that was in a scheme that was far more advanced than everybody else had. So Randy Moss is good. Jerry Rice is good, but I can't sit there and say he's better than Randy. When we look at the talent, when we look at the vertical threat, being 6'4", one and a 4'3", you know who do that? And I disagree with your assessment of sitting there and say he has the quickest release packages out of game. Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson.
They don't have better release packages than Jerry Rice. That's ridiculous.
No, they got faster, quicker release than Jerry. Would you agree?
Because they're faster receivers, maybe, but it doesn't matter the speed of your release. It can vary. You know, a quick release is not always the best release. The most effective release is the most effective release. Jerry Rice was the best release, has the best release that we've ever seen. You've never seen what receiver today runs a triple move release. Nobody does that anymore. Jerry was doing that on the regular, making defenders miss at the line of scrimmage, bro.
Who running a diamond release to a split release and then running a post dig like Justin Jefferson? Who's running that?
Jerry Rice has definitely done that. There's without a doubt Jerry Rice has done that.
I'm saying Justin Jefferson is literally up there. Like this notion that So you tell me that Jerry Rice is the most talented wide receiver in the game?
Yeah,
I mean,
I feel good saying
skill
that,
set. Yeah.
yes,
I mean, if your criteria is athletic ability, then
yes,
But
yes.
but if it's as far as skill
no.
and
He's
production
not even better.
and
He's not even
success, it's Jerry
He's
Rice by far.
He's not even better than Antonio Brown.
That's ridiculous.
That's
That's
crazy.
ridiculous.
Wow.
What?
That's ridiculous.
I don't agree with that.
Oh my
Jerry
God!
Rice is a
AB
bigger frame. He's
AB can play
again the best releases ever.
AB can play the slot. He played on X. His split release was second to none. His footwork was some of the best we've seen in the league. He had quick feet, great hands. What are we talking about here?
And Jerry Rice
You're
did all
acting
that.
like Jerry Rice didn't have that.
Right, Jerry Rice had all that. But he
Antonio
did
Brown did it better. He did it better.
No, we
And
didn't.
hold on. You tell
No, he
me,
didn't.
does Jerry Rice, when we look at it from a big catch radius, right? Do you think his big catch radius is better than AB, Calvin Johnson?
Yeah.
Randy Moss?
Yes.
Oh my fucking.
Big games. Jerry Rice
Calvin
showed up,
Johnson and Randy Moss have bigger frames. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, Moss. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, great point. I mean, listen, Megatron and Randy probably made the more, talented catches up top at the peak of the throw. But just Mookie's mentioned certain attributes, which is cool. But just playing the receiver position in totality and what you bring to a football field, nobody's never done it better than Jerry Rice. And the fact that they're mentioning guys like Antonio Brown, Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and all these dudes, bro, it's an insult to the game of football, bro. Like, do y'all know who Jerry Rice is? This is crazy.
Bro,
Yeah, but also you gotta look at, name me one corner did Jerry Rice go against that was the level of Champ Bailey.
Deion Sanders.
No, he's not. Deion Sanders is not a better quarterback than freaking Darrell
yes,
Reeves.
he is, bro. Yeah.
No, he's not, bro.
Oh,
Deion
yes,
is the best corner of all time.
Darrell Reeves was a lockdown demon. That was an actual guy.
Darrell Reeves is even better than Charles Woodson.
For 1 year.
Oh my
God.
what?
Bro,
You said
Charles
Darrell
Woodson,
Reeves is
bro.
not better than Charles Woodson.
No, he's not, bro. No, he's not.
Darrell Reeves is better than Charles Woodson.
No, he's
Darrell
not,
Reeves
bro.
clear Charles Woodson. What are we talking
No,
about here, bro?
No,
Stop
but
it.
Peak for sure.
But Deion Sanders is better than Darrell Reeves, though.
No, he's not. Who's a better lockdown one-on-one man-to-man corner? Who's a better
Deion
lockdown one-on-one man?
Sanders.
Deion
Man,
Sanders.
cover-
He's down on a 4-2,
Oh, no,
bro.
hell no. Reeves
covered
is
the
better. You
entire
gotta
side
give
of the
Reeves,
field.
bro. Darrell Reeves is a better
man
lockdown
coverage, bro.
corner.
Stop.
Darrell Reeves is a better lockdown corner than Deion Sanders, bro. He is. Reeves Island was locking out everybody in 2009. He was following everybody.
He mentioned 1 year, 2009, when Deion got multiple years.
What are we talking about
Talking
here,
about
bro?
peak, Moss.
No, we
Deion
talking
was
about
locking everybody
bro.
not named Jerry Rice in that era, as long as he played.
bro.
49ers were winning Super Bowls when they had Deion, and then Deion went to the Cowboys, and then the Cowboys started winning Super Bowls
That
and
is
became
true,
one of the
bro.
best
That is
defenses
true.
in the league.
Nice.
Like
Wins for
prime
quarterback.
time runs a 4-2 and has ranked almost every receiver known to existence with the exception of Jerry Rice. In the 90s, like you name all these 90s receivers guys haven't been able to produce to the level of the receivers 2010. It's because Deion was guarding them, locking up everybody his entire career. Even when he was on the Ravens, he was producing at the cornerback position. It's completely disingenuous to put Darrell Reeves, Champ Bailey, Charles Woodson, even in the same conversation as Deion. Deion is one of the greatest athletes that we've ever seen in football, and he was the best cover corner, mechanically speaking, technique
He's
speaking.
not a better man.
He's picture perfect. You want to know why? Hang on. You want to know why there's so many pass interferences and why it's almost impossible to guard a receiver one-on-one? Because they teach corners today to play in phase on their hip like Deion played, and it's impossible to do it. Not everybody's Deion, and not everybody runs a 4-2. The only person that can do it as consistent as Deion was Deion.
Yeah, but Darrell Reeves ran a 4-3. He had a bigger frame. Also, on top of that, bro, we're talking about Darrell Reeves was a legit lockdown man-to-man cover, had great technique, had a great job to field inside. He was great at ball hawking as well, bro. That's the thing that Darrell Reeves did well. He had great football. He had great instincts. Niggas couldn't get his shit off against him. So when I look at Darrell Reeves and look what he was doing in 2009, Deion is a good man. But part of what made Deion is a good ball hawk. Deion is a good playmaker within the corner position, bro. He's a very good cover zone cornerback. But when we looking at for a guy that follows somebody locked down, I'm not sitting there and do anything like Sauce do. Sauce maybe follow somebody, but then the thing is he played He's a zone coverage cornerback. Darrelle Revis was locking guys down, following them, top receivers in the game.
You don't think Deion was as good as Darrelle Revis in man coverage? At least
No,
on the same team?
hell no. Hell no.
Crazy.
No.
Revis is a better man cover. He's better.
No, it's not even close. It's not even close.
Sure better. If you talk
now,
about like
zone coverage
overall,
corner, he's a better zone coverage.
Yeah,
corner.
like you talk about overall, I got Deion, but man coverage, bro, Revis got it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. His technique wasn't better. That's what I'm saying. Plus, when you look at it from the athletic standpoint, bro, when you look at Revis and compare it to Deion, yeah, you could sit there and say that ball hawking, having hands to be able to anticipate where the wide receiver was going to be able to play that zone really well. Deion was good. But when I'm looking at Darrelle, I'm looking at his IQ, his field. So when receivers get a break on the ball, he was always there. His physicality at the line was very good. And on top of that, he was a very good disruptor. Come on, bro. Give me Darrelle Revis over Deion Sanders. But also to get back on the point, that's who Randy had to go against. That's who Randy Moss had to go against, my brother. When we're looking at it from a talented wide receiver's perspective, Randy is number one. Then everybody else is, you can put everybody else there. Yoanna, what you think about this receiver?
I mean, but you saw. Wait, sorry to cut you off. You said Champ Bailey though, right? Didn't Randy Moss play against Champ Bailey too?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like Randy Moss was playing. Those guys.
So you agree with me that Randy Moss played against more top corners?
I was. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Sense, yeah, I would. Yeah. But it's pretty close though in terms of Randy Moss and Jerry Rice. I mean, I would say that Jerry Rice is more skilled. The only thing is that like Randy Moss is just a better deep threat, and he has a better catch point or catch radius. But Jerry Rice, in terms of skill, like nobody's being Jerry Rice. He's the best route runner ever, in my opinion. I think if you put Jerry Rice in the league today, he will still cook. I don't know why Jordan Kai said he wouldn't cook in today's league.
No, it would not.
I think his game would translate very well in today's game.
No, it wouldn't, bro.
Why not? What is a weakness?
Because what
Jerry Rice has.
It's not anything against Jerry Rice. What I'm telling you is that, bro, the game is way different than it was back in the day. Bro.
So
like,
tell me.
Bro, real quick. What I'm trying to say is, bro, just wide receivers are just better in general. They're more athletic, more technically sound. Like that's what I'm saying. If you do relative to era, Jerry Rice, yes, he's the number one wide receiver. But if you take it to an actuality, looking at the tape, who has a better skill set, no, that shit would not translate. He would be amazing, probably top 5, but no, bro, it's not like y'all saying that's a wide receiver. No.
Man, this was a very, very good debate, very good topic, discussing the historical wide receivers and discussing the historical quarterbacks. But now we have to talk about the presents. Week 2 came around. I want the whole panel overall thoughts. The Saints quarterback competition is very getting close between Spencer Rattler and Tyler Suh. Is there drama when we looking at the Giants quarterback situation? When we looking at Anthony Richardson, there's been new reports today that Anthony Richardson would not be the starter, and then that's the end of his quarterback's career as Daniel Jones at the starter position. Also, we got to break down these rookies and what you're more impressed with. But I want to start with Byron, man. What is your thoughts of week 2 of the preseason, and what's your thoughts of the quarterback changes in Indianapolis?
I mean, I'll address the Indianapolis quarterback conversation as well. I think it's evident that Daniel Jones has at some point in his career played relatively good football. Obviously, he's never played to the caliber, like a top 10 caliber or anything like that, but he has led his team to the postseason before. And overall, he's just a much more accurate quarterback and a lot more reliable and consistent than Anthony Richardson. I saw this move way ahead of time. Anthony Richardson's got the athletic profile of Cam Newton and maybe one of the most athletic quarterbacks we've seen, but his throwing mechanics are terrible. If he's not launching it 40 yards down the field, his accuracy over the middle, especially when receivers are running horizontally, is terrible. He doesn't throw any timing. He doesn't throw he doesn't have any rhythm in his footwork. It concerns me that Anthony Richardson went out on the field with an AI visor to help him be able to distinguish coverages and pass protection, and he still messes it up and gets blown up by his own pass protection. So for those reasons, there's not really any. I don't see how with Daniel Jones in that quarterback room that has shown at least some ability to execute a passing attack, why you would start Anthony Richardson over him.
Okay,
Do you think?
But Byron, wait, hold on, Byron. So, do you think that the Colts, because when they drafted Anthony Richardson in 2023, they drafted him as a project, right? They knew that Anthony Richardson coming into the league was not going to be this top guy right away. You got to give somebody like that reps, okay? So my thing is, why would the Colts draft Anthony Richardson in 2023 and not give him, the opportunity? We've seen him get injured, and I think they should have gone at least one more year, because it's not even like the Colts are going to be dominant this year. Like, in my eyes, I think that Anthony Richardson should have got at least one more year, to show and at least improve, to show that he could, at least return some of his draft projection. But I think it's dumb how the Colts, only gave him 2 seasons, and then they didn't even let him start at least week 1. Like, that's kind of crazy to me. I feel like they should have let him at least start week 1.
I disagree with that, bro. I disagree. I mean, he's had 2 years. And the thing is this. It's one thing if he's getting better and they're losing, we can accept that. He's not getting better, bro. He's still making key mistakes as a quarterback, right? Like he said, he has elite arm talent. He's athletic. But football's not about that, bro. There's a time and place where you got to drop back, read a defense, and make a goddamn throw. Can you read the playbook? Do you have pre-snap preparation? He ain't got it, bro. And I'm going to say something, and it's going to be controversial, bro. Here you go again. Running quarterbacks, lacking IQ, lacking key throws when it matters the most. And it just is what it is, bro. Listen, I thought this was a wasted draft pick. And listen, I don't think Daniel Jones is much better, but he's more of a traditional, prototypical quarterback that they can just trust to check down, not turn the ball over, not do dumb shit, bro. And so you got your chance. You didn't do it. Go sit your ass down, bro. This is a man's league, bro. This ain't Pop Warner.
But you could argue that Indianapolis, they didn't give him enough of a sample size to actually prove his worth in the league.
That's what I'm saying,
if you go back to college in Florida, he barely even played any games. They pretty much drafted him just off his physical talent and ability. So in the league, he was playing. He was playing good his rookie season. He was playing good those first couple of games before he got injured. Last year, he got injured again. I mean, how many NFL games has he actually even started in? This guy's
started 15.
Bro, and those 15, hold on. In those 15 games, how many of those games were high-level games of him displaying very good starting quarterback caliber skills? None of them. And on top of that, bro, he's been injured. He's been injured. This man, Anthony Richardson, needs to change his position right now, bro. He is a guy that has the strong arm. He's a guy that can run very fast. But, bro, you lost your starting job to Daniel Jones.
But listen, like I said, bro, even in college, he barely
but Jordan Kai, games, bro.
He needs more reps in the league.
Jordan Kai, this is the thing that you're not listening. He lost his job to Daniel Jones.
He shouldn't have lost it. I don't care.
Daniel Jones is one of the worst starting quarterbacks in the game. You lose it to that, bro, you're not a good quarterback. And then when you see on film, bro, he just don't even know how to recognize or read defense pre-snap. Like, he doesn't even know how to set up advantages when you're facing a one single safety high. You got a 3-by-1 formation. Your side is on the other side of the field instead of reading levels properly. Or you're not really going through those reads really well. Your eyes on the wrong side of the field when it should be on the other side of the hash mark and just reading the field. He's not doing that.
But Mookie, bro, think about
it. Listen. What I'm saying is this. I blame, and y'all gonna hate this, but I blame Josh Allen. Because Josh Allen was the anomaly of teams getting a project quarterback and developing to a starting, very great elite level quarterback. They looked at it, Anthony Richardson, and say, oh my God, he has the physical traits like Josh Allen. Strong arm, can run very well, physically opposing, right? Even though he lacked accuracy and processing skills, both Josh and Anthony Richardson lack those things. I can at least develop him. I blame Josh Allen for that because now GMs are sitting there settling for Anthony Richardson, who is a 4th-round draft pick. When you were a 4th-round draft pick and you're not even a starter. And this is the thing. Shane Steichen, he is trash with Shane Steichen. You know, bro, every quarterback that's playing with under Shane Steichen, bro, have one of their best seasons. Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts. I mean, these other quarterbacks that have had their best season. He has struggled with Shane Steichen, one of the better premium pass design concepts that we've seen in the game. So there is no hope for this guy. This is not no permanent. Oh yeah, because at least Bryce, you can look at Bryce tape and say, okay, Bryce has something. It's just the confidence thing by Bryce. This nigga can't do nowhere close to what he can do. So
you're not addressing what I said. He has barely any reps in the league. And then think about it too. The difference between Josh Allen and Anthony Richardson, they let Josh Allen stink it up the first 2 years. He was looking like a bust the first 2 years in his career, but they were letting him play routinely. I don't understand. There's no upside in Daniel Jones. He's already he's just ass. He's not a good quarterback. Just the physical is just he's just a mid-ass quarterback. You should just let Richardson play through the season. Let him get his reps in, and if he's ass this season, then pack his ass up and then just get a new quarterback, draft a new quarterback. But he for sure should be the QB1. You got him.
I would understand if the Colts were in a position like the Vikings, in order like they have a shot, they have a good enough roster to win win the NFL with a good quarterback, right? Daniel Jones and the Colts are not in a position to go and win, the Super Bowl with the roster they have now. So in my eyes, what they should have done in order to make that draft pick look at least better than what it is now, they should have at least let him play at least one more year. We've seen guys like Trey Lance. The 49ers give up on Trey Lance, and that was a completely different situation, but they gave up on Trey Lance. Now you got Trey Lance on the Chargers. He's cooking in preseason. All you had to do was just give him time, and I think that's the same thing.
This is the thing that y'all missing. Y'all missing the point. Anthony Richardson is not durable. They did it for multiple seasons. His first season, he got hurt. His second season, he got hurt. So they is literally trying to sit there and giving him chance after chances after chances. He's not durable. And on top of that, from an end trait standpoint, he's losing to guys that that they can trust to run an offense. So he has two things that's going bad in his way. Also, on top of that, why you even risk trying to start a guy, right, where on preseason film it looks bad, right? But then you risk him being injured when you can start a guy that is much more reliable, that can operate the concepts of what Shane wants him to go, right, to give your team a better success. Because if you want Anthony Richardson to be a starter caliber quarterback and he gets hurt and your team starts down to 4-11 and stuff like that, right, then that risks Shane Steichen losing his job. Shane Steichen ain't trying to lose his job. Starting Anthony Richardson, you can lose your job. So it's just crazy.
I completely agree.
With Daniel Jones, my fault. You got it. My fault. You got it.
I appreciate it. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt or
No,
jump in or cut anybody off. And I mean, I feel that like the idea that he can't get reps and the only way he can get reps is through starting games is a little bit concerning as well. I mean, you can get plenty of reps at quarterback with any coverage or scheme that you want in practice. Quarterbacks have developed pretty well sitting behind the starting quarterback, and it's the job of the coaches, the coordinator, to put the best players on the field, not to sacrifice team success, the progression of one specific player. And it's one thing if you want to say he needs time, like Josh Allen needed time, Mahomes needed a year behind Alex Smith. But when you're messing up things like pass protection and you're getting whammed and you're not even looking on the right side of the field when you're supposed to be going through your progressions on the right side of the hash. I mean, these are stuff that are supposed to, like, that college quarterbacks can execute. College quarterbacks can execute basic pass protection, and Anthony Richardson has shown that he can't. He only started 13 games in college. The only reason that he was drafted as high as he was his physical profile, his combine performance. And it's being shown now that every other attribute that you need to play quarterback, he hasn't demonstrated it. So, of course, he's not going to start for the Colts when Daniel Jones can at least get the protection right.
But
he can get his reps sitting behind Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones is not even that good of a, like, Daniel Jones got cut in the middle of the season last year. I would understand if you're talking about a guy like, I don't know, like Sam Darnold that's like, at least proved himself for a year. But this is Daniel Jones out of all people. Okay, if you were the Colts, right, you made a decision in 2023 to draft a guy that needs reps. And I know you said that you can get reps in practice, but game reps is not the same. So would you rather waste that pick by putting someone that is not maybe slightly better like Daniel Jones on the field rather than giving your other guy who just needs a little bit more time I would rather put a guy like Anthony Richardson on the field for a little bit longer, to at least, prove that 2023 pick wasn't so bad.
You wanna, and then ask Byron and Mookie this question. Ask them this question. Listen, with Daniel Jones, your quarterback, do they have even a chance at winning the division?
Better than Anthony Richardson.
Do they have a chance? That doesn't matter if it's better. Do they have a chance?
But his chance is better.
Really
So
matters.
what's the point? Then what's the point? Why wouldn't you just
They
hope
gonna
for
miss the
internal?
playoffs with Anthony
might as well just
Richardson. They
hope for
gonna make the
development.
playoffs.
That's
They
what I'm
gonna miss
saying.
it with Daniel Jones.
It's not like this Colts is a Super Bowl
just
ready
tell
roster.
that the man is playing the wrong position. If Anthony Richardson doesn't want to be in the NFL, switch to tight end or something, bro.
So you're not willing to give him at least one more year?
No.
Okay.
He simply hasn't shown us anything that
He
can
didn't
prove
show
that
me
he's
nothing.
a starting
Bro, the
caliber,
physical traits.
other than throwing some of the. There's
Physical
lots of guys that have the physical traits.
Not like Anthony Richardson.
Joe Milton.
No, Anthony Richardson. He's
Joe
Jalen
Milton just
Milroe.
got a strong. Joe Milton just got just as a strong arm.
no
Jalen
he's not.
Milroe.
No,
Yes, he
Anthony
does.
Richardson, yes, sir.
Arguably
Bro,
strong.
he does.
We seen Anthony Richardson probably have the best pass of all
Joe
time.
Milton, bro. If we talk about this,
65
I'm
yards
saying-
pass
I'm saying
off platform.
if we're talking about
Like, come on,
this
bro.
arm talent, when we're talking about this lower accuracy, this lower ball placement, this your physical on how hard you can throw the ball. Joe Milton probably got the best in the league outside of like Josh.
And
Allen.
that's nasty because we've seen Joe Milton multiple years in the college just be ass. So I mean, he was never good. So that's kind of just nasty. We barely even seen you rest from Anthony Richardson in college. But
also I want to talk about. I'm gonna say this. I want to talk about the New Orleans Saints quarterback position. We're done. I mean, it's just Spencer Rattler and Tyler Soap, bro. I mean, when I watched them on tape, right? Let me start with Spencer Rattler, right? So many misreads that he had. I mean, he was very clutch in the play. He made some very good outside the number throws on a quick out, right? But I just think that his inability just to read the middle of the field and his inability to just quickly just get off of progressions very quickly and just not really go through reads really well is very, very concerning. His mechanics are concerning as well. And on top of that, when he's get rushed out the pocket, the I don't really see that superior arm talent when he's getting blitzed off platform. When I look at Tyler Suck, when I look at him, it's like when I watched his tape yesterday, I think Cesar Ruiz was absolutely garbage. I think we need to get rid of Cesar Ruiz. I mean, the amount of tape that he had, just giving up pass rushes, giving up pressure up the middle, not missing blocks in the A-gap. Like, he was missing so much things, and Cesar Ruiz need to go. But Tyler, so at least he gets to progressions quicker than Rattler. I think Tyler Saw, when you look at Tyler Saw, the mechanics and footworks is very off to me. It's very inconsistent. Like, it was one play where he was just dropping back, and it was a slant to Olave, and then I think somebody was like running sort of a hitch in the middle of the field, right? The way that he would hard plant on the left foot, as there was just no window to throw to Tyler Chris Olave, and then Cesar Ruiz give up the pressure, so he had to throw off platform, off balance, and stuff like that. As a quarterback, your 3-step drop should be much more refined than that, and that's the thing I didn't see in Tyler Suck. I do like his accuracy. I think he's very, very accurate compared to Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler is not accurate whatsoever. And I just think he's just a slightly better process. So when you look at their stats, to everybody, they are very identical. But I think the Saints are going to go with the guy with the much more upside, and that's Tyler Suck, if it comes out close like that.
You think that Tyler Shaw is going to start week 1?
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah.
But wouldn't you rather them have, like, instead of being in this position, wouldn't you have rather why didn't you just draft Shedeur at that point? That's why I feel like y'all done.
Politics is the reason why the Saints didn't draft Shedeur. I don't know. I don't know why we didn't draft Shedeur. I mean, I don't know. I would want Shedeur Sanders. And that's another thing too about the Shedeur Sanders situation is that they're starting Joe Flacco over Shedeur Sanders, which is kind of understandable. I'm not shocked. People leaving me up and like, Mookie, why are they starting Joe Flacco? It's just, I don't know. I mean, maybe they're gonna let Flacco get reps and then let Shedeur, read the playbook more, make him get more refined within the offense, and then start him 7 8 because this notion that Dylan Gabriel had better tape than Shedeur Sanders is absolutely crazy. I don't even know what the hell Dan Orlovsky was looking at, but just trolling as usual. But like I said, man, Shedeur should start very soon. I'm not shocked that it's Joe Flacco. What's your thoughts on that?
Just real quick, I saw a router play live last year. Mookie, remember versus the Bucks when I was in New Orleans. I think it was the game that Carr got hurt the game before, but he wasn't unspecial, bro. They got blown out that game. He struggles. So it's going to be a quarterback competition. I don't think neither guy is going to take you home or do anything special. So, they're just in a lose-lose situation. And you want a great question. Why not draft Shedeur at this point, right? But we know what time it was. But the fact that they're starting Joe Flacco over Shedeur, I don't think it's the worst thing. Right? Start Flacco the first couple of games, maybe 4 or 5 games. But I do believe somewhere along the way, we're going to see Shedeur behind center at some point starting. And so this has nothing to do about who's better, who's not better. I think Joe is a seasoned veteran quarterback. He's won the Super Bowl. And let's be honest here. Sometimes it's a blessing, right, for not going to a team. So maybe him going to the Browns, being behind Joe Flacco, just learning the position from that guy, I'm okay with that. And I do think at some point, Mookie, we will see Shedeur behind center, bro.
Switching up to Shedeur and the Browns, I want to talk about a team that's in their division. And before we get to this topic, I want y'all to sign up for Underdogs. Deposit and get up to $1,000 in bonus funds. Use the promo code Rated R. Man, it's going to be a lot of picks coming on the NFL TakeOver season as we count down to the NFL season. I know I'm going to be picking a lot of things. I remember I've played Underdogs and I turned $10 to $500, or you can turn $500 to $15,000, right? But you can't do that. Make sure you use the Underdog Rated R. Get up to $1,000 in funds. And make sure y'all sign up. And also, make sure you smash the like button. Got over 100 people in here, 180 people in here. Make sure y'all smash the like button as well. I want to talk about another team that's in the division and the situation that's going on with Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, right? As you know, that it came a couple of days ago that the Bengals are looking to shop Trey Hendrickson. As you know, the Bengals' problem was not their offense. It was their defense. And as you've seen against the Washington Commanders, it looks like complete garbage. So do you think that the Bengals are in a situation where they need to re-sign Trey Hendrickson? And also on top of that, man, what do you think about the situation in the future going on with Joe Burrow? Because if that team missed the playoffs again, especially signing Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow and T. Higgins, what does that say for the Cincinnati Bengals organization and their leadership and their franchise? I want to start with Miles. What you got on this, Miles?
Come on, bro. 17.5 sacks. Sign the guy. Bleacher Report is reporting that they're in talks, Mookie. So this whole trade thing is still on the table. But I think Trey and his camp are kind of closer about a number and a deal. They're not there yet, but he led the league in sacks last year, man. And we know the Bengals defense is horrendous. And so if you trade that guy, you're losing that many sacks. He's a high impactful player. Somehow, some way, you have to sign that guy, bro. You can't put all your eggs on the offensive side of the ball with Joe and Jamar and Higgins, bro. At some point, you have to address your needs. And the Bengals' needs wasn't offense. Not saying that those skilled players don't deserve money, but you got to listen, bro. Football is won in the trenches, right? Up front, physicality, right? We just saw the Eagles embarrass the Chiefs front line, bro. We just saw that. And so you got to pay this man, bro. And so do I think it happens? I don't know, because the Bengals prioritize other things. And I find it funny and I find it delusional that they would prioritize those 3 skilled players and put aside no money for Trey. Are you kidding me? When your defense is probably in the bottom half of the league and you don't address it. So, and then real quick too, with Joe Burrow, you got to win now, bro, right? Their excuse can't always be my defense, especially when the Bengals aren't signing the league leading sack guy. And so which one is it, right? You can't say Joe ain't got no defense, but the team not signing the guy who led the league in sacks. And so Joe has to show up and show out.
That has nothing to do with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has done everything he can, man. He has
Listen, I know you want to protect
Joe Burrow has taken this pitiful Bengals organization that has been the bottom of dirt throughout the whole totality of NFL history to the Super Bowl his second year. What are we doing here? So they haven't surrounded this man with at least a serviceable offensive line. He's been with the worst offensive line in the game. On top of that, he's had the worst defense over the last couple of years. What more do you want, Joe Burrow? The Bengals are wasting Joe Burrow's prime in his peak years. He is the only quarterback that has to play pitch perfect in order for his team to win. See, when you look at Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, all these other CJ Stroud, Jared Goff, all these other quarterbacks, they have a high margin of error. Joe Burrow has a low margin of error. So my point is to sit there and say this situation is not good for the Bengals. This team is cheap. This team is sorry. Man, the reason why they re-signed Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, because they had to. Because if they didn't have to, Joe Burrow would have been out of there. But I sat there and said I thought that they should kick one of them and basically had a seven. But the problem is that we're not looking at the whole totality of it. They have enough money to pay Trey Hendrickson.
You guys, Mookie asked me, what can Joe do more? He could take a pay cut. He has $219 million guaranteed.
What?
And so, Mookie, bro, he's a quarterback. He has a high IQ. He knows that they struggle defensively. So guess what, bro? Like $219 million, take a goddamn pay cut. Go talk to your friend Jamar Chase. Convince him to take a little bit of a pay cut, and you go get some defensive players. Because you know that you can't win without an average defense, bro. They were ranked number 27 last year in defense. You can't win in this league when your defense is that sorry. But the QB's taking $219 million guaranteed. Bro, you're not going to win that way, man. So, yes, Joe can do more, bro. Take a pay cut. Restructure that deal.
Joe Burrow doesn't need to take a pay cut because if you look at the new TV deals and stuff like that, owners will have enough flexibility and stuff like that to be able to sign players and give players the contract that they need. Lamar Jackson didn't get a pay cut, and what happened? They still drafted well. They still getting great defensive players. They still surround this man with a historical offense and a historical defense. Justin Herbert didn't take a pay cut. What happened? They fired Brandon Staley. They brought in Jim Harbaugh. They drafted some really good defensive players, right? And they also surrounded Justin Herbert with a very good defense with good weapons. The problem with the Bengals, they don't draft well. They don't draft well. And one time when they draft well, what do? They send a guy to Atlanta. They don't draft well. So if you don't draft well, when you don't hit on 99% of the people that you pick, you got to resign these star players. First of all, it's hard for people to come to see Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a low market. They're not attracting these big talents. Like, it's very, very extremely rare for guys just to come over there to Cincinnati and people to be able to stay there. But the problem is they're not drafting well, Maz. So Joe Burrow's in a situation where they're not drafting well defensively. They have enough salary cap to pay these players, and they're not doing that. So they haven't gave this man an offensive line. Joe Burrow has been playing with one of the bottom tier offensive lines throughout his career. Still having peak level seasons, still being able to take them to the Super Bowl. So the level of floor, he's the best floor raising quarterback in the league because I can see him in a situation where everything that is terrible in a situation where it's situational hell, he can still be able to lead them to winning records in Super Bowls. So if you know that guy floor,
he didn't do it last year.
But Mossy led to win a record. On top of that, their defense was historically
they missed the playoffs, bro. They missed the postseason.
Oh, did they miss the playoffs because of Joe Burrow?
He didn't do enough, in my opinion.
Leading the lead in passing yards and passing touchdowns, Sunday completion percentage, the best in every type of coverages you can go against. He didn't do enough, Moss?
No, it wasn't good enough.
Okay, how about this? How about this, Moss? If you're telling me that Joe Burrow didn't do enough, Joe Burrow has the most 300-yard games, 3 touchdown games, right? With a 68 completion percentage or better in 8 straight games. You know what that's better than, Moss? 07 Brady, 2011 Rodgers, 2011 Drew Brees, Joe Montana that you love, right? So if you're telling me that Joe Burrow has to do more than that to be able for a team to get in the playoffs, that's when you know it ain't a good team.
All those great quarterbacks that you mentioned and some you wanted would say it's on me. I could have done more. They take accountability, bro. Joe Burrow doesn't.
Hey, I'll say that if Joe Burrow didn't play like shit against the Pats, or if he didn't throw that pick against the Ravens,
Of course, he could have done more.
He would have won the.
I mean, we've seen Lamar Jackson play like trash and still have the opportunity to be able to win. And I don't even think he played bad against the Patriots. They had 2 touchdowns. They got called back. I don't think Joe Burrow played that bad. I don't think he played bad against the Pats.
But did he throw a pick against the Ravens in Week 5?
Yeah, he threw a pick. Then
yes,
Lamar
he did. He threw a pick.
Hold on. Yes, then Lamar had a fumble, and what happened? The defense corrected that fumble.
If Joe Burrow doesn't throw a pick,
but that's my
game.
But that's my point. Lamar can live to have turnovers. Lamar can live to be able to turn on the ball. Josh Allen can be able to live to turn over the ball. But they have guys that can be able to correct their mistakes. Joe Burrow is not in that situation. So if I put Lamar, and if I put Josh Allen in a situation with the Bengals, they miss the playoffs as well.
All I'm saying is that if he doesn't throw a pick, they're in the playoffs. But anyway, I was.
Hold on, we can play what if you want to. If the defense would have got to stop, if the defense would have played much consistent, they'd have been in the playoffs as well.
But you're deflecting my point. If
you're deflecting you're deflecting the main argument. We could play what is. I can sit there and say, what if McPherson made the field goal? They would have beat the Ravens, and boom, they're in the playoffs. So we can sit there. We can do this.
Joe Burrow needs to not throw that pick in that clutch situation.
And McPherson needs to make the field goal.
Hey, okay,
the Bengals need to be able to get stopped the run. The Bengals need to get stops. They need to be able to put the stops, especially when Joe Burrow set them up. The Bengals need to be able to stop Terry McLaurin when he's going off and stuff like that, and be able to be connected as a group from a DP's perspective. They need to be able to put pressure on more quarterbacks. They need to be able to stop running. I can sit there and say that. See, football is a team game. It's a team. It's not just individual. But when I'm looking at the quarterback, Joe Burrow led a top 4 offense in the game. He played at a historical level. He did what you want him to do. The defense didn't do what they were supposed to do. It's a team game.
I completely agree with you. And you know, if you want to say that if McPherson made that field goal, they would have won the game, then I could say that if Mark Andrews caught the football in the divisional, that the Ravens would have gone to the AFC Championship. So we could do the same. You can't pick and choose when you want to blame the quarterback versus when you want to blame the other people on the team. Like you said, it's a team game. So when we're evaluating Joe Burrow, don't blame the defense, and then when we're evaluating Lamar, then we're going to blame Lamar for having 2
Lamar Jackson had 2 turnovers in the first half of the Bills game, and they were still in the game. If Joe Burrow had 2 turnovers,
why are they still in the game?
If Joe Burrow had 2 turnovers in the game, right, they would be down big. See, Joe Burrow margin of error is very low.
Not true.
I don't even want to get on Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow because you switching topic. My point is sitting there and say, Byron, that the Bengals situation is historically terrible, and I think it's going to end up bad for Joe Burrow and the Bengals. I think they're going to miss the playoffs again, and I think that it's going to be some rumblings of where Joe Burrow is going to land with his next team. I don't know what they're going to do. Joe Burrow is going to get frustrated that they're not putting the right amount of pieces in him, and he's going to see once again that he's playing perfect. He's throwing. He might throw. I think Joe Burrow throws for 5K this year. He throws for 5K this year, and they miss the playoffs. Another season where it's just Drew Brees 2.0. It's just nothing you could do with an organization that's incompetent. What you got on that, bro?
I mean, I completely agree. I mean, as much as I think the point that Mookie was, or not Mookie, I'm sorry, but that he was making.
Iguana.
The point is that Iguana. Sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I'm still learning everybody's name. I'm new on the show. I got you. But I think the point is that the efficiency that Joe Burrow played at last season, despite one of the worst offensive lines, is extremely impressive. And I don't know that you can ask much more out of him. If you want to nitpick an interception here, a fumble there, you can play that game all day long. Again, the point is that it's a team sport, and you need to look at it objectively. And the defense was 31st, and they were dead last in rushing defense last season. It's impossible to win games that way. If you can't stop the run and you can't control the pace of the game through your offense and allow your defense to consistently get stops, it's extremely hard, and you find yourself in all these shootouts in which and in the shootouts, if you don't control the time of possession, it's really hard to win those shootouts. So the concern is not Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is the only like him and Jamar Chase are the only two things for certain are starters and are going to be starters for the Bengals for a long time because they're elite players. As far as Trey Hendrickson is concerned, I actually think they don't sign him. I don't think they should pay him at all because I think when you're in cap trouble the way you are right now, it's important to get the most value for what you're paying. And while Trey Hendrickson has led the league in sacks last season, and then if you include his sacks the year prior, he's actually led the league now in sacks for 2 years. If you combine the years, he's still leading the league in sacks. But from a skill set standpoint, he's not a premier edge in the league. He chases sacks. He gets too upfield because he likes to predict the pass rather than playing the run and playing gap integrity. And I think it reflects in the worst rushing defense in football. There's other guys, other edges that have elevated their defense to an elite status since they've made it, like Micah Parsons, like Myles Garrett, like Aiden Hutchinson. These defenses have stepped up tremendously with their presence because of their presence in both the run and the pass. And Trey Hendrickson doesn't have that kind of presence at all. And if you're going to pay him,
you made a great point, man.
Rusher,
Bro,
thanks,
you made a great point because I think on the surface, 17.5 sacks, the casual fan would say, "Oh, he had a great year." But if you look at those games, bro, some of those sacks came in blowouts. Some of those sacks came in not big moments, and he's the only edge rusher that they have. So it's easier to scheme for you. I can chip you with a tight end. And so you're right. He's chasing the quarterback. And if you watch him, he does a poor job not containing the edge at times. He will over-rush the QB, and now he's chasing behind him. But, bro, like, he's not getting key sacks, right? So that 17.5 sacks really, to me, is a little overrated. And when you said that, it kind of – you might be right, bro. Maybe they don't prioritize him and they go do something else, right? Or maybe they trade him and go get some picks and try to do it that way. But, I mean,
absolutely.
So, yeah.
Enlighten this cap situation, right? Because there are players on this defense that need to be paid. A defensive player I love for the Bengals is Jermaine Pratt. I think he's a great linebacker, and he's due for a contract. He's going to need to get paid. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, the defense's issue, there's a lot of glaring holds in the secondary, on the defensive line. Logan Wilson, I don't think has played consistent enough football, and I think he played pretty terrible in the preseason game that we just saw. I think there's just a lot of holes that you need to address, and that needs to be done through draft capital. It needs to do through cap space. You need to open that up without restructuring and trades down the line. In trades, right?
Yeah, but
exactly.
I want to get on Byron, because I heavily disagree with what you said here and said. Just because Trey Hendrickson is not a very good run stopper, that don't mean you shouldn't pay him. He's paid to be one of the premium pass rushers. That's why he led the lead in sacks. That's why he's literally topping the league as a pressure win rate. That's when we look at when he's topping the lead and just being an explosive pass rusher. So you pay him for that. I mean, there's plenty of good DBs that are very dominant with the pass rush and very lacks the very elite skills as a run stopper. Trey Hendrickson is not paid to be a run stopper. He's paid to be a pass rusher. That's his main value. So you have to pay that guy, because there's very rare guys that you got in the league that can provide the value as Trey Hendrickson as a pass rusher. So yes, I think they should pay him. They have no opportunity. They have no choice, because at least I can sit there and say, am I trying to sit there and agree talking about he wasn't getting time and sacks? Why do you think the Bengals defense in the second half was very good in the second half of the season? Because Trey Hendrickson was doing good. He was getting timely sacks, and then on top of that, he wrecked the game against the Steelers. Like, the Steelers they beat the Steelers. They won the Steelers game in week 17, not because of their offense. It's because their defense. They were getting to Russell Wilson. They were pressing with Russell Wilson. You'd pay that boy.
Their defense was ranked number 25 last year, and so if they were good second half of the season, then I mean that's just they weren't.
And I mean, unfortunately, all sacks are not created equal.
Absolutely, great point.
Gastineau used to have the sack record up until Michael Strahan broke it, and Gastineau was respectfully a terrible player. He was overcommitting on the pass constantly, like me and Moss talked about. It's breaking contain. It's not setting the edge. It's not playing gap integrity. These are things that are important in total defense that affect your teammates around you. You can't consistently chase sacks over and over and over because you're not playing disciplined football. You're not playing disciplined defense, and that's what we see with Trey Hendrickson. Granted, he may have a lot of pass rushing ability, but the other edges that are paid the way that Trey Hendrickson wants to be paid, they absolutely contribute much more in the run game than Trey Hendrickson does. By far. I can't think of an edge paid that tier.
But the problem is that no one tilt protections the way that Trey Hendrickson does on the Bengals. So the way that he does that at a high level is being able to sit there and say, okay, we got to focus our protection on our protection or be able to stop Trey Hendrickson. That's how great he is as a pass rusher. So if you're one of the better pass rushers in the game, you have to get paid. Who are you going to get that is going to replace the value of Trey Hendrickson? Who?
Maybe somebody in the draft. Every single year it's a deep draft class of pass rushers.
The Bengals do not draft well. So imagine if you got Trey and Shamar Stewart on the D line, and they're creating havoc. That will make the pass rush much more dominant. And on top of that, bro, as well, it will make coverage much better because if you got pass rusher that can be able to get the quarterback and be able to create pressure, that will make the DB's job much more easier as well. And on top of it, can run more simulated pressures. So like I said there and said, it's just like, I honestly think the Bengals, they have the money. They have the salary cap. It will be a difference where I could sit there and go on the Bengals and say, you know what? This organization draft well. This organization does a good job in drafting defenders well. They don't do that. It's not Holly Roseman. You know what I'm saying? Where Holly Roseman
overpaying for an edge is not going to fix this problem. Overpaying, as good of a pass rusher as he is, there's tons of guys that can commit to the pass every single rush and rack up sacks. Okay. The title of being a premier edge defender is you need to do both. You absolutely need to do both because it's extremely easy to rack up sacks if you're going to be undisciplined in your gap integrity, and it's costing the rest of the defense as far as run defense. So why are you going to pay an edge rusher that is quite literally hindering your ability to stop the run? And the solution that overpaying this edge is what you need to do because you draft poorly. Any team that drafts poorly never has any success whatsoever. You need to be able to draft well to be able to generate a contending roster. So the Bengals need to fix their drafting situation regardless whether they sign Trey Hendrickson or not. Overpaying for an edge that hinders your ability to stop the run and has not really shown anything other than producing sack numbers when he's reckless in gap integrity and in the run, I think is incredibly irresponsible.
Well, I agree with both. I agree with both of y'all in the sense of that, I agree with you that, you said that Trey Hendrickson is not that good in the run game. To be honest, he's a mid-run defender, right? I saw his PFF grade was around the 60s, that's not good. He wants to be paid as much as a Micah Parsons or a Max Crosby that offers so much more, in the run game. That, I don't know if the Bengals should pay him that much, but I also agree with Mookie that they should pay him because that defense without Trey Hendrickson is going to collapse. And another thing is that this is less about Trey Hendrickson and it's more about the Bengals. We know that the Bengals are just a shit show in terms of signing players. They took forever to sign their first round pick. And I know that it's not even about the money. It's not about the contract. They both agree on that. It's about the guaranteed money. They're nowhere close in terms of guaranteed money. So I think the Bengals need to suck it up. They need to pay their premier pass rusher because they agree on some contract terms. They need to suck it up. And I don't know if they're going to. I think it might be a situation like Chris Jones did back in 2022, 2023, where he sat out for 8 weeks. And he eventually came back, and they went to the Super Bowl. But this is more about the Bengals. This is not as much as Trey Hendrickson. We know that Trey Hendrickson is a premier pass rusher. We know what Trey Hendrickson is gonna bring to the defense. This is more about the Bengals not able to say that, oh, we're gonna pay our players. The Bengals need to fix their front office. This is embarrassing.
I have a question for you.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Sorry, I apologize. I have a question. If the defense, Miles says is 25th, I've seen 31st, but we know that it's absolutely abysmal. If the defense is absolutely abysmal, and then you're still going to pay Trey Hendrickson, where do you find the salary cap to be able to address the rest of the defense? Because the defense is not good with Trey Hendrickson. So by paying him, you're not solving any problems other than retaining a player. So how do you address the rest of the defense while your salary cap is severely hindered?
You gotta draft, but that's the problem. Like, having a great. So Shamar Stewart, I like Shamar Stewart. Like, I like him and Trey Henderson. If they play really well off each other, I think that also you're then talking about that the ceiling of them can be one of the better premier pass rushing tandems in the league. Right. On top of that, that will also make the core unit much better. Because, like I sat there and said, if they can also get better in coverage while also not allowing quarterbacks to be able to complete a full step drop and be able to create havoc or create pressure, that will also make the defense better. Also, on top of that, I do think that they need to draft better. But that's the problem. Can they draft better? Can one of these draft picks be able to hit? Then they draft Jesse Bates in 2000. When did they draft Jesse Bates? In 2020, right?
21
might have been before that.
Oh, but 21. Look what they did Jesse Bates. They traded Jesse Bates to the Falcons. So that's why I sat there and said, 2018. I'm sorry. But like I sat there and said, elite pressure, if you have elite pressure, everybody, it covers up the flaws of the secondary. It forced bad throws, right? And on top of that, bro, it gives a quarterback more reactionary in the pocket. If the ceiling of Trey Henderson and Stewart can be up to the part, that will make a defense better because they didn't have nobody of a caliber like Shamar Stewart on there.
Well, I mean, it may improve your passing defense, absolutely, but it doesn't. I'm sorry?
It also kills drives, so yeah.
Well, I mean, in a way, but I mean, if you can't stop the run, in which they were one of the worst rushing attacks in football, it doesn't really, or what rushing defenses in football, it doesn't really matter. Adding an edge, unfortunately, is not going to do a ton for your run defense. The Giants have shown that. Unfortunately, you need a better defense than edges.
So then what would you rather have? So you don't want him to pay Trey Hendrickson at all?
Correct. And I would trade him for whatever draft capital I can. It's going to free up cap space. And then those draft picks I can use to address needs on the defense.
But did you see what they said? Did you see what they want for Trey Hendrickson? They want a young player and a first-round pick. They're not getting that out of Trey Hendrickson. There's no way.
They could.
Yeah. I mean, but teams
100%
release all kinds of outrageous demands and then settle for less. I mean, I think they're not going to make it public knowledge exactly what their exact negotiating price is. It's not smart negotiation tactics. I only know this because the Cowboys do this all the time. Jerry Jones does this all the time. That they're not going to trade. A perfect example is Amari Cooper. They're not going to trade him for less than a second-round pick, and then they did. So you can't totally take for word what the GM says as hard truth. But the point is that even if they don't get a second-round pick and a young guy, depth, like at least multiple thirds, multiple fourths, these are players that you can add on your roster.
They're not giving up. They lessen the value of Trey. They should have traded Trey in the draft when they had the opportunity to do it, and now people are sitting there saying that the value is lessened. But I mean, I just disagree with the point of edge rushers can't impact the defense. I think edge rushers can very impact defense. I think when you're looking at two of the more impactful defenders most of the impactful defenders are edge rushers. We look at the defenders that are winning DPOYs is because of edge rushers. So if I got
I didn't mean defenses. I meant run defense. I said I meant specifically to the run defense. Of course, adding a premier edge rusher elevates your defense. Your run defense specifically.
Yeah. You can scheme up the run defense, but like I sat there and said, their run defense is going to be sensitive. That's why I sat there and said is already going to be. So even if Shamar Stewart developed into a very good run stopper, right? You don't think that will be able to fix the run issues for the Bengals?
I mean, it can. I mean, that's definitely not Shamar Stewart's game at all. He's definitely not a run stuffer.
But I'm saying
if hypothetically he does, it's absolutely going to help. Yeah, without a doubt, it's absolutely going to help.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's it.
But that's why I say you can
especially nowadays in the draft.
You
They're
can find
mainly pass
defensive
rushers.
tackles. You can find defensive tackles on the market that are very good run stoppers. You can
Absolutely.
find
No, you can't. That's a premier position. That's what everybody's looking for.
That's not
Is a
true.
premier
That's not
run
true.
stuffing tackle.
no, but I'm saying you can find defensive tackles that, and you can develop into very good run stoppers, or you can, like I said, it's all about drafting. But my point is to sit there and say is that you can't get rid of a guy that is your premium edge rusher when your defense is already struggling, and it's going to be way worse. The drop off is going to be way worse, and expect to get somebody that replaces value. It just doesn't make sense.
Why not? If every draft class there's more edges than there are any other position.
Yeah, but there's no edges that would have the Trey Hendrickson impact. And plus, when you look at the Bengals, they don't draft edge rushers well. They don't.
Well, I mean, obviously, no problem is ever going to be solved if they don't draft well. But the idea that if you don't sign Trey Hendrickson, you're never going to be able to find a pass rusher to the caliber of Hendrickson, I think is untrue. I think even guys like Jared Burrows, Abdul Carter this year, like I think edge rushers are coming out so consistently that that's a position that is a lot easier to replace rather than finding a nose tackle or a 3-tech that can consistently stuff the run and keep your linebackers free. I think that's a lot more niche of a market and a lot less common to address in the draft than pass rushing edges. I think you see that all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that it's very, rare that we've seen someone. That's why I said I would rather for the Bengals to keep Trey Henderson, keep Shamar Stewart, and hope that they can hit on a 3-tech or a D tackle in the second or third round and develop him into a very good run stopper. But if you're just getting rid of everybody and then think that you're going to replace it with a defender that is nowhere near the caliber of Trey Henderson when the defense already struggles, it's going to be way worse. Jordan, what's your thoughts on this, man? We got to hurry up and move
on. Do y'all think it was a mistake paying T. Higgins? I think it is. They should have let him go, or at least traded him, or like something, bro. Because they put why with one of the best quarterbacks in the league, why would you have to feel the need to put such good offensive talent around him? Why do they feel the need to have T. Higgins when they already have Jamar Chase, arguably the best wide receiver in the league? I feel like they didn't even have to. They could have just let him go, and then they have more cap space so they could actually sign some defenders. So I feel like. In this situation, I feel like you got to keep Trey. I mean, you're gonna have to pay him. It's looking like they have to. That defense, like I was watching the Commanders game. They were getting demolished by the Commanders. I know it's preseason, but like, did y'all watch that game? Like Jordan Battle has got to be one of the worst safeties in the fucking league, bro. Dude is ass.
Terrible.
Like he was getting juked out, and man, bro's getting blocked. No, he can't like tackle. No type of like just his tackle paths, like the way
it's terrible.
It's everything. He's just like the Bengals defense is going to be ass, and if you let go Trey Henderson, is going to be like all time terrible. So I mean, the position they put themselves in, I feel like they have to sign him. But in my opinion, they should have never signed T. Higgins to the money they signed him.
Man, the Bengals not making the playoffs. It's just sad.
No, they're not, and they're not going to make the playoffs. It's just because this world. Why would they push this much money into the offense when you have an all-time quarterback? What's the point? Like you can give him less weapons and you'll still produce good offense.
Oh, bro, that's a great point, Jordan. Joe Burrow is that type of quarterback where you can give him subpar weapons, he can elevate offense. Like he's that caliber of a quarterback. That's the thing with Drew Brees. Like Drew Brees didn't have over the top talented wide receivers. He just had good wide receivers, serviceable wide receivers to like when he was out of his like physical prime and peak when they gave him Michael Thomas and he developed to elite wide receiver. But he had good average wide receivers, and they were always consistently top 5 offenses every year. So why does Joe Burrow needs to play with Chase and T. Higgins when you could keep one of them, trade one of them, build a more balanced team, and be able to raise that level? Like, it is crazy. And then it's just terrible how they ran. They ran or like the way that the Chargers did. Like, that's a crazy thing about it. And I was a fan of Justin Herbert. Bro, the way that the Chargers ran their organization compared to the Bengals, it was like similar to back in 23-22 where Herbert has these great weapons with Mike and Keenan and Eckler and them boys, right? But didn't have a terrible freaking defense. And they were not winning games. They were not missing the playoffs. They made the playoffs one year. So it's just like deja vu all over again. Now it's with Joe Burrow. So it's just like they need a rebuild I don't even know if Joe Burrow wants to be a part of the rebuild, but they need a rebuild within that whole team.
If I was him, I'd demand a trade, bro. Like, get me out of there. Like, it's so sad seeing like these all-time QBs just get sold by just trash-ass front office moves, man. Like, I mean, we've seen it. Like Aaron Rodgers, like the 1 year he had top 10 defense, they won a chip, bro. Like these organizations. That's what I'm saying. This is the ultimate team game. You could be as good as a quarterback as you want. If you're not getting put this competent offensive and defensive talent around you, you're not going to win. So, I mean, it's just sad.
Yeah, but the Chargers did draft 2 decent rookie receivers, so give them a shot because they did look good in week 2 preseason. So, I mean, that's a step. I mean, then it's step in the right direction. So we'll see.
And that's a step in the right direction, chat. And that's a step to where you about to go say one?
Nah, you about to close. I don't know. I was just gonna say that because he said that he doesn't know. I mean, I wouldn't have paid T. Higgins. But I mean, I'm pretty sure the main reason why they paid T. Higgins was because of Joe Burrow, because they wanted Joe Burrow. Like Joe Burrow wanted T. Higgins to be paid. That's why they pay him.
It doesn't matter what he wants.
Yes, it does matter what he wants. He's the star quarterback. The GM is gonna listen to Joe Burrow. But I mean, anyways, like
Joe Burrow wants a defense. They ain't gonna give him a defense.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you want more? Defense or T. Higgins?
Ask Joe Burrow. I'm sure he would say.
I'm asking you. I'm asking you.
I'm not Joe Burrow. I'm not the.
I'm just asking you, bro. Just put yourself in them shoes.
I wouldn't have paid T. Higgins, but
okay, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I agree with you, but I'm just saying it's Joe Burrow. But I was actually at the game yesterday, bro, and seeing that this number 62, the offensive line, he like didn't block like that.
Lewis Patrick. He's trash.
That was so funny. But
it is, and it is terrible how he don't even have an O line. Like the O line is just still not good as all. Like it's terrible. I honestly don't think the Bengals. I want to know when the organization gonna sit there and say enough is enough. Like they're just playing these cheap games and it's just crazy. So
cheap ass.
It is what it is. But that's all we got for today. This was a fire episode, chat. Make sure y'all check us out on NFL TakeOver every Tuesday at 9 p.m. We're like maybe 1 week and a half away from the NFL season. Fire show for these boys as well. Hopefully our moderator will be back next week. But chat, make sure y'all smash the like button. Salute to everybody that came in support. We see y'all next week. Take over.